What's good, family? I got my computer working good again. Oh, shit. Look at that boy's audio in sync with his goddamn visuals. We're gonna have a good one tonight. Let's let everybody get up in the room. Shout out to, who is this? Hang on. Let me find you. Shout out to James Anderson. He said, salute Lord Jamar from the UK is in the building. Personally, I look at music is a tree and all the branches are different types of music, but the tree is African. One love from the UK Godcast, dopest podcast on the planet, 100. All right, thank you, James. We appreciate you, sir. Oh, here we go. And it goes a little something like, it's good, family. Welcome back to the Godcast, Lord Jamar Live. I am Lord Jamar. And yeah, we're gonna have a great show tonight. Make sure, before we get started, make sure you like this video, you share this video, share it with your people, share it on Twitter and all of that. Let them know we in here. If this is your first time coming to the channel, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell and click all so that you know when we drop something new. Okay. I see my Godcast family is in the house. Peace to everybody that's in the chat right now on YouTube. Dr. Ma'at hit me up earlier. She said she was going to be in the house. Okay. I see the God Talim in the house. Peace, God. Yeah, you see my shit ain't looking all blurry and all that. It's looking crispy now, right? What had happened was I had to update my software. A lot of times when you deal with like Pro Tools and all these music softwares, they tell you not to update the computer software because it could mess up their shit. You know what I mean? So I wasn't updating my shit, and by not doing that, it was making my whole computer like just mad slow and sluggish and all of that. So I did some research, and they were saying one of the things was to update your joint. And so that's what I did. And now we good. All right, let's clap it up for that. So, okay, let's get into it. Everybody's been talking about hip hop and, you know, what they think they know about it. And, you know, quite frankly, if you're not a gentleman of a certain age, at least 50 and up, but even older than that, really, if you really want to talk about the beginnings, man, you need to be at least 60 years old, sir. So we got some real pioneers in the house tonight. Hope to get a whole slew, but you know, we got some good ones right here that's going to get into this whole history of hip hop, who was there, who was doing what was going on at what time. We're going to try to get some sense of it all. What is mythology? What is not? And get some clarity on timeline, influence, all of that. All right. So I guess first up, I'll bring up my brother who really set this up. Legendary promoter from back in the days. Original hip hop. Man, I don't even know what to say. Just someone who was definitely there when all of this shit started and gonna help bring us some clarity. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Van Silk to the show right about now.
What's up, brother?
Peace.
Peace, God. Lord
How
Jamar.
you, my brother?
How you feeling?
I'm great.
It's a wonderful thing, man. It's a wonderful thing. The only thing I'm going to say before you start questioning, it's sad that in the 49th year of hip-hop, we still have to have this type of conversation. And it goes to show that a lot of the Similac babies don't understand. Because I'm a Carnation baby.
Well, speaking of Similac and Carnation baby, that's funny that you say that because I was a Carnation baby as well. Why don't you give people just a little bit of your history, who you are, what you mean to this hip hop game, and why you are somebody that you know we should listen to as far as you was there in the beginning.
I'm from this. I was born in the South Bronx, 64 years old. From Patterson Projects.
10 years older than me.
Patterson Projects, where Nate Archibald, Guy Fisher, Ivan Barkley, and part of the Digging of the Crate crew come from. I moved to John Adams and Jackson Avenue. But my history in hip hop, I was co-signed by Lubbock Starsky and Cool DJ AJ, who is no longer here with us.
Rest in peace.
And we grew within the 5-block radius of each other. And me and AJ was the same age, and we was 3 years older than Lubbock. So for 2 years, I was promoting parties under AJ. For 2 years. Called myself a flyer boy. And me and AJ got into a dispute over the Force MCs of wanting to put him on the show. And he didn't want to do it. And I said, okay, you know what, man? You do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. So I put the Force MCs on their first show. They started working with me. And then the same year, I put Dougie Fresh on. But just from doing the parties, me, Mike, and Dave started doing parties together. Me and Hurt did parties later on when the T Connection became Spiderweb. I did over 150 hip-hop jams.
And this is what year are we talking about? What year are we talking about when you first started doing hip-hop jams?
For me, or when I started working with AJ?
Both. When did you first start working with AJ, and then when did you break up, start doing your own thing?
78.
78.
Because I was doing other things in my life, and I was contributing money with him to get fly, because we were doing a lot of PALs and stuff like that. And before Jamar, can I say this before I get finishing me? I want everybody to please understand. Groups like the Furious 3 and 4 MCs, Melly Mel, all of them, and the Funky 4, these guys and artists and Sharrock, they were doing parties only getting $10 a man. $10.
Facts.
But let me get back to
and we thought, when I'm listening to the tapes, though, I thought they was getting paid. I thought, motherfucker, they was talking about, and we got $100 a blow and all this kind of shit they was talking about, and we're gonna get the gusto and all of that type of shit. I thought they was getting some gusto, but anyway, go ahead.
So, eventually me, Mike, and Dave stopped doing parties because around 83, 84, a lot of the groups, the younger groups coming in like Fearless, and it was getting the record deals, and we couldn't afford to pay them the $300-400, so they was getting $1,000 from Lady Blue downtown. So I did Roxy's on Fridays, and after I did the Roxy's, I went on to do the first hip hop TV pay-per-view special called Rap Mania.
Mm.
50 acts. And then I was supposed to do, I came up with Big Daddy Kane and Rakim, LL and Mo D at that time in 91. $1 million for LL and Mo D to go at it, and $500,000 for Kane and Rakim. That's the same thing that Kane talks about now. But it was funny because Don King and Donald Trump was going to put the money up. And then instead of that happening, I went to do Sisters in the Name of Rap with Yo-Yo, MC Light, Vanessa Sequence, Antoinette, Roxanne Shante, Salt and Pepper Queen Latifah for TV. So I did the first two. But in between that, I worked at Spring Records that had King Tim III, Steve Rifkin with a little kid running around with his father and uncle. Then I went to RCA Records. And at the same time, you know, I was involved with the whole mixtape game. Me, K. Slay, when he came home, me and him started doing everything with the whole mixtape game. And then for the mixtape game, I went to the whole urban model game. Buffy the Body, Hoops, Esther Baxter, Glory Velez, Sunday Carter. That was all me. And then, you know, I was at the record labels at RCA and Rough House Records, running the label and all that stuff. So I've done a lot. I helped a lot of people in this business. I put a lot of people in this business, and I've worked with a lot of groups from 78 to 91. 99% of the groups in that generation did shows for me.
Facts. Okay. Well, listen, I want to bring our other brother in as well. Before we really start getting in, because you know, a lot of this conversation is about you know, Black American people, and also we know that Puerto Ricans were early participators in this hip-hop shit. That's without a doubt. And this brother right here was definitely one of the first Puerto Rican MCs that I heard of back in the days. Yeah. So without further ado, man, I'd like to bring my brother Prince Whip a Whip onto the Godcast. There we go. What's up, my brother?
Peace, Kings. Lord Jamar, how you, sir?
I'm great, brother. Now, real quick, are you on your phone? Yes.
Yes, I am.
Can you turn it to the side so I can get the wide version of it?
Let us see.
Yeah, watch this. Watch this.
Unlock it, Whip.
Really?
Now watch what it do. There we go. Bomb.
Brother look kind of good.
Yeah, now that's see. Yeah, that fills up the frame. How are you, my brother?
I am blessed, yo. I'm here, man. Representing still, living, breathing, Lord, you know, doing good. Families beautiful. So no complaints from this guy.
That's what's up, man. Now, for those, you know, because we got a lot of people who weren't necessarily around back at the time, and you know, they didn't know about the tapes and all of that. Why don't you give people a little bit of your history, you know, the group that you were in, and you know what I mean?
The groups.
You said the groups. Okay.
Wow. Well, first and foremost, Whip a Whip, Bronx, Puerto Rico, first Latin to make it happen in rapping. Started out with DJ Casanova Fly and the Mighty Force Crew. The Boogie Down Bronx.
And Casanova Fly would be Grandmaster Cass. All right.
Man, from there, I mean, you know, we did I was in a couple of groups, yo. I was in a Gestapo crew in Manhattan with my man Dada Rock, Salt and Pepper, me and Dada Rock. I had a short stint with Kool Herc, rocking for him after I left Cass for a minute, and then landed in the Cold Crush Brothers lap. And from the Cold Crush Brothers lap, went straight to Fantastic Five. Therefore, Fantastic Cold Crush. You know.
And that's where I know you from Fantastic Five. When you was in Fantastic Romantic Five, we are the crew that make it come alive. And when you're around, man, what? What? Stop it. So yeah, man, like so right now, man, you know, I'm sure you've heard this. There's a whole big debate as to, you know, exactly what was going on back then. Now, you just called yourself the first Latin in rapping.
Make it happen in rapping. That's right.
Make it happen in rapping. what year did you get into hip hop? Number one.
I said, I was up there 78. I was carrying crates for cash like 77. Disco Wiz and A1 DJ Mighty Mike, and I didn't really touch the mic until 78, which
now who got you into rhyming and all of that? Who
watching guys like Melly Mel and Kid Creole, that's what really got me going. I always said Mel, but it was the way that Creole just rocked that echo chamber that made me be like,
chamber, man.
That echo chamber was a motherfucker back in the days, wasn't it?
Hand switch.
Like the echo chamber was a skill in itself. Like I used to be like, who's working the echo chamber? Because they used to be like certain tapes, man. It just used to be so precise, y'all. Like, oh man, you just used to crispy. So he was one of the dudes. See, I didn't. Yes. This is you putting me on to something right now. So
sure, no doubt.
Kid Creole was a master of the echo chamber.
Yes, he was. Yep.
And see, the only one that probably like new school people could identify with that echo chamber sound would be Greg Nice. Greg Nice kind of always retained that echo chamber sound in his raps. Like he'll write his raps with that echo chamber style.
N-I-C-E.
Right, like flame to sax, like love to Max. Like, yo, shout out to my man Greg.
And it was crazy. 1 second when DMC said what got him when he heard Sha Rock on the echo chamber, because she used the echo chamber.
She was another one. Sha was bad with it.
Sha Rock.
I don't know who was rocking her shit, but I know Creole was rocking his own. I don't know who was rocking Sha Rock's chamber.
So wait, and when you're doing this, what they got some sort of thumb switch?
A little hand switch. We made the switches. Oh. We used to use the AFX racetrack button.
Say word.
Hook that up to one of the 1/4-inch speaker plug. Throw that sucker in the chamber. It gets y'all.
And that's what you call hip hop, baby.
Wait, now who did that? Like, who was the first one to do that?
I saw Creole did it first.
Creole was the first one to take the racetrack shit and hook it up to the.
It looked like a racetrack to me. A lot of people took light switches too.
Right.
Anything that could turn on and off. But the AFX was the easiest because it's just one little button and you just hold it and you good. As soon as you let that sucker go, it's like in.
Right, so damn, we got brothers creating inventions and shit.
True indeed.
Inside hip hop, because I remember when niggas, when I first discovered that you can rhyme through the headphones.
Oh, I remember that too.
You just stick the headphones in the mic thing. Now the headphones is rock, bro. What? And I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, do we know who might have been one of the first to do that? Like, who figured that out?
I'd like to know.
Who figured that shit out?
I know.
You know, there was a lot of ingenuity going on.
Oh, yeah.
After
that, I mean, all through like our European tours and everything we did, I had to keep me an echo chamber. As a matter of fact, they got one of mine kidnapped and they're holding it hostage, but in Italy. And hey, it's just I just buy them now because now you know they got the foot pedals. You know, you got all kind of shit now that's made for like guitars and such.
So now let's take it back. And this is for both of y'all. When was the first time that y'all heard hip hop and who was playing it?
Wow. You know, for me, like I said, going to 23 Park, but closer to me, I used to go see Bambaataa on Monterey. He used to play at the projects in Monterey on 180th Street, right in the boogie down, and on Wednesdays, and I'll never forget it because it's usually it's him and it was quite a few other guys whose names elude me, man. I mean, that was so long ago. But Monterey Park, and well, actually, Kaz, me, you know, because when I met Kaz, I met him through a friend, Smiley Smile, who's part of Lele's Fun City crew, Peacemakers, and his brother Joe was part of Peacemakers. But Smiley was like, yo, he was the kind of guy that like, yo, He took us around. He always kept the little nickel-plated 32. He was straight gangster. So it's like he lived right directly across the street from Cass. And so he introduced me to Cass, and when that Cass was out there playing, the Disco Wiz was playing out the, playing, got the speakers in the window and shit like that. And that pretty much was the first time I even heard hip hop music.
Do you remember like what was being played specifically? Like what break or some shit was being played? And you was
I
like,
can pull out a break. There's a lot of old breaks because a lot of them were disco. A lot of breaks were disco. So like Frisco Disco, it was like I Can't Stop. Yeah, I kind of hated that record because so many DJs cut that shit, and you see them fuck up. They be like, you know. So you get tired after a while. I'm like, I can't fucking deal with this record no more. But girl, what's her name? Just did a hit got a record with that shit right now. It's really nice. I forgot her name. It'll lose me, but yep, like Frisco Disco, Apache. You know, I never heard of Apache. You know, I heard that bongo rock. I'm like, what the fuck? And and Cass was just doing a thing. Now at that time, he wasn't rhyming yet. He would speak. He do the Hollywood thing. Is like, promote and take when the next jazz is this, that, and the other. It wasn't until a little later on that we just started writing. Because I remember one time I said, yo, I gotta get that mic. We was at a park on 188th and Webster by the PAL. Because that was our stomping grounds, the PAL. That was our area. We had the Blue Lagoon there. PAL. We had what was the name of that Burger King that was on Burnside? Your Spot. They used to call it Your Spot.
Your Spot, yeah. Jerry Bloodrock.
Jerry Bloodrock. That's right.
Thank you.
He just passed a couple months ago.
Oh, did he? Damn.
Yes. God bless his soul. Jerry Bloodrock, who put out the records, The Roof was on Fire with the Dynamic 3.
Yeah, Jerry Bloodrock. Man, but I mean, that was our little stomping ground, and we kind of felt like we owned that shit. You know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers came and played, we had Mad Juice at the PAL. Dot Rock lived in the building right behind the PAL, just to give you an idea. And yeah, I was there when Chase, this is later, but I was there when Chase was playing with Furious, and they came to shut that shit down. I was up in there, That was, I was laughing. It was funny. It was
but you know what though, Whip, we gotta let Lord Jamar know that Charlie Chase in 1979 DJ for the Furious 4, and he was the DJ when Raheem.
He was invited to be here tonight. He said he couldn't make it, but that's my man. Shout out to Charlie Chase.
But he was the DJ when Raheem joined the group at the Forest Community Center in Forest.
Right.
He was a DJ. Yep. And
I keep hearing a lot of stories about Raheem. Like Raheem was a very wanted individual, from what I hear, like in different groups. Because Chirac says that Raheem was with them before he was with Flash and them.
Oh yeah, Raheem was with them first. Lord Jamal's gone.
And we got the show.
Hey, yo,
this
you
is
checked
the
Rubie?
takeover.
You hit Rubie?
Takeover.
Did you hit Rubie?
Yeah, I hit him.
My bad. No,
look, I started singing. This is the takeover. We taking over.
I'm glad y'all didn't leave. That happened one time, and somebody just froze and they just left.
Well, you know what, Lord Jamal? Raheem started with the Funky Four. Actually, Chirac was rhyming before Raheem.
Right. This is what I'm saying. Like, because she told me, she was like, I'm not the one more. Like, like other people was the one more. Like,
yeah, she was the one.
He was in,
rock like we did.
But you got to remember, I know with Lord Jamal going with this, at one point, DST was trying to recruit Raheem for the Infinity MCs. But he ended up going to the Furious 5 after the Furious 4 and the Funky 4 had their battles. Shout out to the brothers Disco Baron and Breakout. But I want to answer your question because Whip said something important. Even though we all grew up in the Bronx, there were sectors in the Bronx. Like I'm from the South Bronx. So when we say park jams, we say we going to 18 Park. 23 Park was the school Melly Melvin Creole went to over there. Or we going to 63 Park. Or we going to Cedar Park, or we going over to, Echo Park.
Echo Park, 129, 118.
If you was really in this game, because 18 Park was behind my building in Patterson Projects in 281. My Haven. 63 Park was Mean Gene L Brothers, all that, or Boston Road.
Mario, yes.
Now let's get to what a lot of people want to know. In these early jams, what's the percentage of Puerto Ricans that are there at this time? Whip a whip.
How many now,
Puerto Ricans?
I can't even say, but if I'm there, I'm sure I wasn't the only one. I mean, it was a lot of black folks, but yo, trust you me, there was a lot of Boricuas in there.
But no, we're not saying that Boricuas was there. But at one point, somebody put out a statistic of saying 50-50. Of that it was about 50-50 at these jams.
See, that's why I'm stumped, because that was so long ago.
It was never, I know for a fact it was never 50-50. And I just need people to say that, like, and be real about it. Did we lose Van Silk? Take over.
Lord Jamar, Puerto Rican Prince Whip Show. Hey.
But there we go. You sideways somehow, Van.
Crooked eye sipper.
Your whole shit is sideways now. I don't know why.
Freeze.
Yeah, this shit is frozen.
Rock.
Come out and come back in or some shit. But
yeah, I don't, like let's say we're going to 118.
Like, let's keep it real.
Let's keep it really real. 118. There was a lot of Latinos in that park. That was Chase's backyard.
118.
The Tinglings right across the street. We used to DJ for them. Yep.
Those are the dudes they used to call the Nazis.
Those were like they
used to have the Nazis on their jackets.
Yeah, they used to have the Nazis on there.
The swastikas. Yeah, black people used to call them Nazis. Yo, you know what I mean?
Yep. To me, they were as big, if not bigger, but they was up there with the spades because they controlled 180 of that whole little area. What's the name of that park? On Arthur Avenue. Arthur Park.
So you're saying in that particular park, there would be a lot of Puerto Ricans, but generally, when you go to these hip-hop jams,
I didn't say it like that, nah. And I say that it's just hard to look back and say who's what and what's what, because it's like a lot of people was like, yo, I remember when Doc found out that I was Puerto Rican. He was like, what? He heard me and my mom's going at it. He was like, oh shit. And I'm like, what? You don't speak Spanish? I thought everybody spoke Spanish. I say that all the time.
Now, growing up as a Puerto Rican in the Bronx, like what was, now keep it real too, what was the culture? What was the culture like towards black people? Like, how did your family feel, especially towards American blacks?
And that's kind of interesting because I'm going to tell you, my grandmother was prejudiced. My dad was black. And my mom's married my dad henceforth with a whip. But I didn't find this out till after she even passed. It took my sister, my younger sister, bless her. She got a birthday coming up in a couple of days. Carmen, I love you.
Virgo. It's Virgo season. I got one coming up soon.
See?
Yeah.
And, but they never let us see it. But now that I think about it, I'm like, but see, they lived in the same building and everything. We lived in the same building because my mom's and dad split up. So dad was the one being the mom and raising me and my sister. And grandma lived upstairs on the 5th floor. So it was really cool because that's when I had to go stay in Manhattan. I was living in Manhattan at the time on 149 and Riverside, between Broadway and Riverside. I went to PS 186 on 145th Street. But yeah, that, and there was a lot. And then see, my pops, this is what I love about my life right now. Because what he instilled in me is phenomenal. Because here it is, a black man in the 60s, riding the Cadillac, toting the gun legit, because he was a jeweler. And he just, to this day, I'm driving Cadillac, I'm dad, yo. He gave me a niche in life. So what do you say about stuff like that? But there was definitely, no doubt, some racism there, yo. You can't even walk through Little Italy. I had to go to school. I went to Roosevelt. I lived on 130 Valentine. Like I said the other day, you have to go through Fordham Road to get to school instead of cutting through 188th Street down 3rd Avenue and cutting through Babgate and stuff like that. So without the Italians trying to be like, yo, what the fuck y'all doing over here type shit, you know.
And like when you was young, you was Puerto Rican, but you was hip hop. So what did your style and all of that lean toward? Like, you know what I mean?
I say like this. At home, like every Saturday was like clockwork. You know, Mom's is up early. She wakes us up by playing salsa music. Time to clean up. Let's do this, da da da. So, you know, it kind of made, you know, chores kind of like cool in the gang. But like I said, we was raised with so many. See, I was raised in both the Bronx and Manhattan. And I want to talk about my block in Manhattan because, I mean, I got to give shout out to guys like, we had like Asian brothers, Benny Ing, Benny, Harvey, Mel. We had Puerto Ricans, we had black, we had white Mike. Yo, it was a melting pot in Manhattan. And we were real. I was young at that time. I think I was like 8, 9 years old. And so that part, we never saw nothing until I went to the Bronx. And I'm like, everybody out here is Spanish. Well, you hear congas everywhere. and, you know, music's playing everywhere. Everybody blasting shit out their windows. So that transition was kind of interesting because I lived in Puerto Rico for a couple of years. We moved out when my pops and mom split up. So, you know, it was one of those, hey, you go this way, I go this way. And when I came back from Puerto Rico is when I moved to the Bronx. But the culture was, I mean, I thought everybody lived the same culture. To be honest, I swear. I'm like, you don't speak Spanish? What the fuck wrong with you? That was my thing. I swear, I thought everybody spoke Spanish, yo. I'm like, what?
But I'm saying, like, once you get into hip hop, like, what kind of gear and shit was you wearing?
Oh, now we got the hip hop. You know what kind of gear I was wearing? Teardrops, mock necks, British Walkers, fucking
Swedish knits,
Pumas, fucking Pro Kids, you know.
Now was that shit that black people was rocking? Was that black people's style? Was that
style? You know
was
what
that was Puerto Ricans traditionally rocking that, or was that the shit that black people was rocking?
Certain cool motherfuckers like Disco Wiz.
Cool motherfuckers.
Wiz was
Speak on it now.
Decked.
But was Puerto Rican people traditionally wearing that? You kind of had to be on some hip hop shit,
not
right?
till way later. Hell no.
So you had to be fucking with black Americans in order to dress like that.
Oh yeah, you definitely, because hey, you know, it definitely, yeah, for sure, no doubt.
And that shit gave you an edge, didn't it? It gave you because it gave you an edge with your swag and all of that.
My thing was, I used to like to dress because I mean, my brother was one of those going down to what was the name? Forbidden Fruit Disco downtown. There's clubs called like Forbidden Fruit and stuff, and him and my moms would go. And I mean, he always wore tailor-made suits. Now I couldn't afford no tailor-made suits, so him and my dad, they used to have a tailor on 145th and Broadway, and he used to get tailor-made suits. So I'm like, okay, Doc is like, let me show you where we get the shit from. Right off on the road. You know what I mean? We just got a million stores, get you alpacas and some, you know, or what's that one guy's name on the what's that? Jew-Man.
That's how they say Jew-Man on Sesame Street.
Right. You know, go there and he'd be like, I got this for you. Here you go.
Or we go to Delancey Street early in the morning to be the first one.
Thank you, Charlie. He said, "Did you guys ever go to Latin Quarter?" Absolutely, I did.
Hey, I like to shout out Joe Conzo. He hit me up, and he was a Hispanic photographer, getting some of the hip hop history and other things going on as well. And
yeah, I was blessed to be on tour with him and saw one of his exhibits. And I was like, holy smokes, because I did not know that he was down with guys like Tito Puentes and such like that. And, you know, shooting all of these guys. I was like, that's some incredible shit.
And later on, we got to shout out Tape Master as well, who
we found out is alive and well.
Yeah, he's not there. He's alive.
Oh, wow.
Fucked me up. I thought the rumor was he wasn't around. But
does he have mad tapes?
I mean, he recorded cassette tape every freaking show that the Cold Crush brothers did. You know what I mean?
But hold on.
Really pivotal. And whatever system we're using, people allowed him to record those cassette tapes. So he was like, yeah, he was Tape Master.
Yeah, Easy AD told me he was alive at K Slave's memorial.
Okay.
But when you say Cold Crush tape, let's go back now. Cold Crush and Fantastic tapes at Harlem World. DJ Randy from my project, Rest in Soul, and Cool D from half the Harlem crew. They eventually let Tape Man patch into the system. Tape Master.
Yep.
Because the glory days after the Furious 5 and the Funky 4 were gone. And I'm going to tell this little story because I missed out when I got knocked off. The Furious 5 and the Funky 4 was gone. Like completely gone. And me and AJ,
they was gone.
What we going to do? And that's when Fantastic and Cold Quest, so many battles between them. Shows. Because the other two groups were gone. And you just had the Crash Crew here. You had Master Don here. Fearless was coming in. And Treacherous was coming in. And people don't understand still what we had to do as promoters. I'm the only promoter. Rest in peace to Man Dip Light. I got to say this. Rest in peace to Ray Chandler from Black Dog who passed recently.
Yes.
I don't know where Arthur Armstrong is from SEC Garage. Tiny Woods. Not Tiny from the Casanovas. You still had
Richard T.
Nubian Production.
Oh, I think we got Raheem is in the chat right now. Peace, Raheem. So, yo, Lord, this is, huh?
Raheem.
Yeah, this looks like Raheem.
Salute
Raheem, Fifth of Fury. Yo, Lord, this is Raheem from the original Funky 4 and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Okay, peace, Raheem. You gotta
so there was
send
a
me
lot
put your damn, if you put your email in the chat, man, I'll send you the link right now. You could join us if you want. How about that? We'll bring Raheem up in here right now. Put your email in the chat if you don't mind, brother.
But of course.
Yeah, he said, how can I get on? Yeah, put your email in there and I will send you the link how to get in here. Do it like that.
I guess Rubie D didn't know how to get in. I whip.
You remember he was cooking, yo. You got to get that barbecue right, yo. You know what I'm saying? That's his thing. I wonder if he sent me a message.
What he said?
No, I said I'm wondering if he did. I don't want to mess with my phone. I would have my laptop, but you're gonna laugh at me if I told you, yo, I forgot my password.
I ain't messing with you.
Because I use my iPad more than anything, you know what I'm saying? And my laptop I use when I go places. It's just all my music. So that's right. I'm old. Whatever.
You ain't old, brother.
Actually, I feel seasoned, man. I mean, like I said, I'm got all my limbs, everything. Been blessed. So I'm not gonna complain about stupid shit.
Thank you, Pro Action. I mean, we trying to get to the bottom of, because we know that Puerto Ricans were definitely participating early, but we talking about the creation. See, now there's creation and participation are two different things. We're trying to zero in on, are there any Puerto Ricans that you know necessarily that like created it, like
no,
like rapping or like who taught Charlie Chase how to DJ?
That's a good question. He was a bad.
I wanted to ask him that tonight.
When I first met Charlie, he was playing with a group called Ben and Jerry, and they had
the ice cream.
Ben and Jerry.
That was the fuck out of here. Ben and Jerry wasn't even out yet.
I don't even think
Thank you, Darren Preston. Huh? That's what I'm saying. There was no Ben and Jerry. Why the hell would it be in a group named Ben and Jerry featuring Charlie Chase? That's crazy. It came from a goddamn time machine.
Yep.
That's funny.
What happened is I heard a conversation. Like I said, I want to give the mobile DJs from the Manboyas to Flowers, to Disco Twins, Cypher Sounds, Infinity Machine, King Charles. I want to get them all, even Disco Enforcers, Leslie G and Iniquity, who told me, Van, we used to go to Ecstasy Garage and hang out with Tony Tone and all that. We took it back to Red Hook. Okay? But I want to make this a clear point that the parties that Herc was doing and Clark Kent and the twins, Kevin and Keith, the nigga twins in 75, they was doing, Herc was doing the parties. Melly Mel told me that him and Creole couldn't even get in the early Herc Hevelo party because they was too young, but their sister Sally, who was 3 years older, got in. But all the MCs and the majority of MCs and B-boys that grew out of going to the Herc parties became the premier people in the hip-hop culture, what was being developed. Charlie Rock and Mr. Biggs are all used to my going to the early Herc parties. Now, I ain't talking about the 73 party because the only person he below. But see, when people talk about they go to Herc
breaking
parties.
Up a little bit.
Huh?
Man, your mic is breaking up a little bit. It sounds
you get static.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but you got to ask people, when you go to a Herc party, you didn't go to 73. It could have been 77, 78. Can you hear me? Because we have bad weather right now.
Yeah, you sound like a record with a lot of.
Yeah, maybe it's because of the weather or something, but it's just every time you talk, there's a little crackle to it.
Okay, what I'm going to do is sign out and sign back in. Reset it. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you, Cream Network. He said, what I remember is hip hop had 4 elements, which no one respects today. He said, but Latinos were very instrumental in breakdance and graffiti. Keep it real. See, nobody's saying that Latinos weren't instrumental in these things, but when you look at, did Latinos create breakdancing? Or were they there to see us there breakdancing and then y'all started breakdancing? You see what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, you got guys like the Mills Brothers. I've seen some
exactly.
Footage. I've seen footage of salsa band where they had this one guy just going the fuck off, doing some windmills and some uprise, and this was like early 60s, late 50s. I've seen that. And then you got to understand, too, a lot of folks say, okay, Latino this, Latino that. Dude, niggas from the block, all them motherfucking Latinos, though, them niggas was D. They were down for sure. I mean, if you get rolled up on, well, timing is off. But, yeah, they was, now I'm thinking back more and more. There was a lot of overlap wearing Ricans back in the day with the pro kids and shit. Ain't no doubt about that shit. The flare pants.
Right. Like, yep. and that's what I'm saying. Like, we made shit cool. Like, we made shit cool. Hip hop motherfuckers was cool. Like, and just had that cool style and
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it gave you so much street cred. It's like I did an interview not too long ago, and I was telling people, I was like, yo, me and Dot used to walk across Cortona Park like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 in the morning. Not that I do it today. But, we'd walk no matter where we wanted to go because, I mean, the juice was there. Once we were blessed and people was acknowledging who we were and there wasn't nowhere we couldn't go, which I felt was like a key to the city type shit. It made you feel real good. Go to clubs, this long line, you just walk up to the front, be like, yo, where's that ride? Oh, come on in, and everybody out there like, what the fuck? That was some nice thing back in, we're talking like 80, that was nice. 81. And then after a while, I started forget it. Shit just, the whole world was like, holy shit, what the fuck, what is this? Because I remember when I went to Japan, they were wearing sheepskins,
right.
They was trying to dress what they saw in the United
Tangos and Kazals and all of that type of shit.
Yes.
And what style is that? Whose style is that?
hip-hop.
Right. That's hip hop style. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, but we got to be specific sometimes because things get diluted in people's minds and all this type of shit. Like, we know that, yes, in New York City, Puerto Ricans and Black Americans live side by side. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there was beef at times. It wasn't all gravy and shit like that. There was race or bigotry in both directions.
Yep.
But I feel like the Puerto Ricans that was fucking around in hip hop was pioneers amongst Puerto Ricans, because most Puerto Ricans didn't fuck with hip hop. Am I correct?
You're exact on that one. You know, it was a lot that didn't.
Right.
I remember.
Can I say this though? I think after the blackout in '77, I think that was the new change in direction of a lot of association, because I know at 64, I know back in 72, 73, 74, you couldn't even mess with a Hispanic chick. You would actually get beat down.
You get your ass kicked.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
You could, or you didn't go on Eagle Avenue because you get your sneakers hung up on the line. I mean,
and could a Spanish dude come mess with a black chick at that time?
Right, you couldn't do that.
All right.
A lot of people didn't want to go to Millbrook Projects, where Dr. Dust come from. You know, so I mean, like, Whip grew up further than me, and my uncle lived in Soundview, so I knew about Cozy Corner, 123 Park, and all that with Cool D, and God bless Tyrone, the mixologist, who passed last week. And then, you know, that's the set that Mario used. But the Bronx was big, and all I know is that at a certain point, when you had the Savage Skulls and the Black Spades and the Nomads and the Ghetto Brothers and all that, you couldn't mess with no Hispanic chick. And if you did, it was like being secret. Like, guess who's coming to dinner? With Sidney Poitier. Am I about it wrong, Whip? Come on.
I remember the picking. I mean, with me, it was never an issue. But what I'm saying, I've seen a lot of stories. I remember, who was it? I had a friend, yo, and he had to go to Brooklyn to pick some chick up. I guess his chick, or whatever. Dude said he couldn't even get out, you know, out the car, out the taxi. He'd be in the OJ talking about, yo, she got to come down. Because it's like, yo, 15, 20 motherfuckers standing out front of the building. I don't care if you black, white, Puerto Rican, brown, what, you know. Yo, if you just being a stranger.
Yeah, that was true too. Just being a stranger, going to certain places was a problem.
And
going to
Edenwald projects.
Oh man.
Okay, you will go to Edenwald to pick a girl up. First of all, guys that they probably don't like you messing with their girl that they feeling her, and the outsider come in. So Raheem knew the girl I was messing with in Edenwald.
Oh wait, hang on. Damn, did Raheem send his? Did he send his damn email? Not bad.
And I know what you're saying about Edenwald, because I had to be put every time we left the T connection. I had to be put in a cab first because.
See?
I was going out with Estelle, Sweet and Sour, and them motherfuckers up there hated my.
Shout out to Sweet and Sour.
I'm talking. I still got a few stitches for reminders, you know.
Yeah, but let's shout out Estelle from Sweet and Sour, who was down with her.
Yo, Estelle, Sweet and Sour.
Nobody really give her a lot of credit, you know. I definitely got to shout out.
As a female MC, Estelle, Sweet and Sour.
Sweet and Sour,
yes.
Okay. Who she was sweet and who was sour?
No, she's one person.
It was just her.
Oh.
Like,
she's sweet and sour.
In LA, they had a group called Body and Soul, which were two girls.
Sweet and sour sound like two girls. You know what I mean?
It was just her, Sweet and Sour.
Wow, okay.
And we got to shout out Cool Herc. Got to shout out Coke Rock. Got to shout out Black Jack. You got to shout out the original Clark Kent. You got to shout out the nigga twins.
Definitely.
See, we got to understand, like, this couldn't have happened nowhere else but here. Like people keep talking about all these other influences about Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans and all of that. And with all due respect, yes, there's great contribution, but this could not have happened in Puerto Rico.
Nope.
This could not have happened in Jamaica. This could only have happened here in America, playing this American ass music with these Black American kids who fucking were vibing to this shit at the time that a lot of people were participating in. Yes, that's what happened.
But Jamar, you know what's so funny? The only person that probably knew Herc was Jamaican was Cope LaRock, Clark Kent. Because a lot of us didn't know he was Jamaican.
Because he wasn't presenting himself as Jamaican.
I didn't know Bam Bada was from West Indian. Me and Flash went to Gompers. I never knew Flash was from Barbados. Because one thing I could say, in our era growing up, my best friends, Reddy, Chino, and Goldie, because we named the spot on the old Burger King on Webster Avenue where Donna Rock lived at Chino's. He got killed in Harlem. I never knew they was West Indian until I heard their mother, Miss Benjamin, speaking. I'm like, oh, because what they did in that time era, coming to America or being here, the Jamaicans had to change their dialect, otherwise they couldn't get no job because they really wasn't accepted.
See, I didn't know that, but
yes,
I can say that.
I didn't know Dougie Fresh was West Indian. I knew him since he was 16.
Wow.
Latif was Jamaican.
See?
So
you never know who you're standing
like
next to.
Azar, like you would never talk to Herbie Azar. They didn't use their dialect around us because they wanted to fit in.
Amen. Yes.
Fresh Soul Music. Thank you, Fresh Soul Music. Hang on. Trying to find this.
Hey, Rubie D. I mean, not Rubie D. Whip.
Yo.
If Jamar don't mind going back to Harlem World, the night that Mo D came.
Let me just say, Fresh Soul Music said, massive salute to Lord J and the Godcast. This is a great conversation. I learned about hip hop from watching Wild Style and Style Wars in the early 80s from Newark, New Jersey. No internet. Love the dialogue. Salute to all. Thank you, Fresh Soul Music. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You got you know, we grew up in an interesting time too, because I mean the music that it's like my passion is R&B, like all the old ballads, the Moments, Main Ingredients, Delphonics, you know, Black Ivory and all of that. And we grew up in a time where music, it was beautiful. You know,
so you was into those black R&B groups.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, positively, without a doubt. And it was just I think through that alone, and my brother and my dad being musically inclined and all that, just I didn't know nothing about music till 6th grade when they put a saxophone in my hand. You know, I'm like, what is this? I'm supposed to play this. I wanted the trumpet. It's only 3 fingers, so you think. The sax, and I was like, okay, and I ended up playing it. I ended up writing music, and I ended up understanding music, which I guess being Latino also, I was super rhythmic because I mean, as far as I mean, I remember back in the days we used to hustle. A lot of motherfuckers hustle. I'm talking about dancing, not hustling on the street. You know, and that was a great dance, and that was Black, Latino, but that was mostly Latinos because there was a lot of salsa. But I mean, Kaz, T-Bone, and all these cats, they were great hustlers. And so
that's what I'm saying. It's funny you say being Latino, I was super rhythmic. The most rhythmic motherfuckers is we the most rhythmic motherfuckers out here. Are you kidding me?
I tell you,
like,
drums
for real. Like that's when you say that, that's in comparison to white people. Like, you know what I mean? Like then it's like, yo, being Latino, you know, some super rhythmic. Yeah, but we rhythmic like a motherfucker.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Hey, but you know what's so funny?
Like, think about when you first started rhyming and all of that. Like, was you in the pocket right away?
Hell no, I was whack as fuck. I'll be the first to admit that shit. I was whack as fuck, yo.
Somebody had to guide you into how to get to the pocket. Thank you,
guide was old English
Computer Blue.
Hey, Lord Jamal.
Yes.
Rubie D just texted me, say he.
You're
And you
breaking up.
froze.
Rubie D text. Oh, he said, please resend. I'm seeing a text. Okay, hang on a second. I'm about
Yeah,
to
man, about
resend
time.
to a Rubie D. We're going to bring Rubie D. Hang on.
And then people don't think about all the beautiful camaraderie we had, you know, even though we were battling and doing things like perfect example. In New York, I wasn't all chumsy wumsy with Mel and Scott and them like that. But when they came to California and we linked up, it was like a brand new family. Cause it's like, okay, we all we got. Cass's words, Grandmaster. And we became thicker than thieves, Scorp and Mel, and you know, and I think the fact that we were battling and doing what we were doing, that still was it gave our competitive spirit a serious workout. Because now you got to sharpen your game. When you trying to flip the mic with guys that are just super at what their craft, you better get yours back up. Because I remember I used to freestyle all the time. And I still do it sometimes. I mean, my son will freestyle for about an hour, which talk about your hat, your new yiggity, the stripes on your shirt, you know, the plaque behind my back, you know, shit like that. And it took a minute because Cass played me some tapes and stuff from back in the days. I was like, ooh, I don't want to hear that shit. yes, yo, to the beat, yo, rock, yo, it don't stop. So, it gave us the competitive spirit, I think, also doing what we were doing at the time we were doing it with a whole different genre of competition. It wasn't a basketball game, or it wasn't a football game. It was the rap game. And if you suck, you booed. And you know the crowd will tell you. That shit is like amateur night at the Apollo.
Whoa, Darren Preston. This is disturbing. I don't know. I appreciate your donation, but I don't know if I like what he's saying right now.
Oh, you ain't gonna please everybody, man. Everybody got an opinion. They're like assholes. Everybody got one.
Nah, he's acting like he's talking about his pops right now, and he's saying his pops is a rapper that we kind of know, and he's talking shit to his pops right now. I don't know if I should.
Yeah, you can't disrespect.
If I should show this right now. Oh, Darren, I appreciate your donation.
You still got your pops. You better utilize that time.
Yeah.
Wish my pops was here.
Yeah. We're gonna have to bypass that one. That Rock, I saw your funny ass earlier. I saw your comment. You funny. Wait, who said this? Somebody said the Olympics will be a big cash and culture grab next year. Many will try to rewrite Black history. FBA created all popular genres of music, straight up. That is pretty much true. You think about jazz, rock and roll, country music.
Yeah, I just watched that Elvis movie.
Right.
I mean,
and he literally was singing like this black dude. I forget his name.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Somebody had him up on the net, and they were saying, I said, this is where he got his shit from.
Yo, I just talked to Rubie D, so he got the link.
Okay.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just talked to Rubie D.
Okay. And no crackle.
Oh shit. I think we got the brother coming in. Your shit just turned sideways again for some reason. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Heather.
Your shit is sideways, Van. I don't know. We're about to bring Rubie D in right now. Ladies and gentlemen. Rubie D. Damn, I wish I had the echo chamber.
I know, right?
Rubie D, take your phone and turn it to the side if you could. It'll fill up the
No, the other side. Ahora sí. No, but that's not sideways.
Your shit is
What?
Your shit is sideways, like on some crazy shit. So
Thank you, man. Will you
we
sleep?
trying to get Rubie D up in here.
Waiting on this. Let me see.
We lost him. Okay, but we got you right side up now, Van.
That's what I'm talking about. That's how it's supposed to be. Hey, Jamar, again, man. I guess thanks, yo. This was nice. I love clearing up things that people are. There's a lot of weirdness. A lot of people. Everybody's like got their own opinion on things. They hear shit from their uncles that really heard it from somebody else and stuff like that.
Right.
The fact that hey, you're hearing it from the horse's mouth.
Rubie D.
Rubie. Now you froze.
Yeah, now he frozen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely give me a setup like you got there, Jamar. Your voice sounds crispy.
Yeah, man. This is how you know what I mean? I got something called the Roadcaster. Plus this Shure mic.
That's a Shure?
Uh-huh.
Oh shit. I will be on deck soon.
Let's see. And still got another. Oh. You want to come in from this other one? Hang on. Let's see.
Can you hear me better?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm on my computer.
Okay, there we go.
Where Ruben at?
He kept freezing every time he came.
Probably looking for his computer.
Hope you can't see my knees, man.
Nah, we don't see your knees.
We don't see that ass shit.
I was gonna say we don't see those leathery things.
Right.
I'm glad
man. Okay, hang on. We're back. Let's see. I see him moving around. Okay. Oh, he even looks crystal.
I'm there now.
There you go. Turn your phone to the side so that you fill up the screen.
That ain't filling it up.
You might
have your screen frozen.
Yeah, your screen is stuck up.
You got it locked. Yeah, you got to unlock the. Yeah, you would have to unlock the screen.
You'll have to unlock the.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get one of the twins.
You got to get one of the twins to do it.
That's it, because they're the ones that know how to do all this.
There you go.
Come here for a minute. Come here. I need you to unlock
the screen.
So it'll rotate.
Yeah, there you go.
Unlock it so it'll rotate. No, it won't rotate.
Oh, that's it? Bang, boom. Oh, that's all you need?
What's it?
He was roasting a pig whip. That's what took him so long.
Give him some of the skin, man. Skins. Hey, this is good as we're going to get, as good as we're going to get. But if he was sideways, you can see it bigger.
Yeah.
Turn your phone over.
The whip started like you, and then we brought him into the 21st century.
Oh, Lord. This guy phone frozen. Him in Texas.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. Now he popped up. He had popped up somewhere else. Hang on.
My turn turned out.
There it is. I can tell.
I think he popped up on another.
Hook it up so I can. So it'll turn. I turn it sideways.
Like this. You're trying to get it like that, right?
Yeah.
We have each other.
Oh shit.
Sometimes I don't. Oh yeah, that's my shit. My love is
in the setting. You're wrong. It's over here somewhere.
All right.
Just turn your phone sideways.
Just put it close to your face.
Just Just turn it sideways.
I
It
guess
would
we got
go
to
on
do-
its own. Just
Oh,
leave
there
it.
we go. There we go.
Here
There
we
we
go. Here we
go.
go.
There we go.
He got the Willy Wonka golden ticket.
I had to get the twin.
There we
Gotta use the
go.
kids. I know.
Rubie D, how are you, my brother?
What's going on, sir?
Can you hear us?
You hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we hear you. Can you hear me?
No,
There you go.
I'm here.
Okay, that's what's up. What's up? All right, we got Rubie D up in the house. Why don't you just introduce yourself real quick? Tell the people a little bit, you know what I mean, where you from, what you represent in this hip-hop game and all of that.
Man, yeah, here I am. I'm this MC Rubie D, you know, fantastic 5 MC, along
Oh,
with Prince Whip right there. I see him. Oh,
yes,
y'all got
sir.
Yankee hats on. I just noticed that.
It wasn't a conspiracy. It was
Yeah.
just it just happened that way.
Es natural.
Ah,
Yeah.
Gotta represent the Bronx Bombers.
see, now you just got a little more Puerto Rican since Rubie D got here, Whip.
You see how I go?
He bringing the Puerto Rican out in you now. You got way more Puerto Rican since he got here. Hang on, what is going on?
Hey, yo, what's going on with Ruby's phone, man?
Hold up.
Oh shit. Yo.
What's good? All right.
What you got, Ruben? An iPhone 6?
I don't see myself.
Rubie D. Fantastic
Everybody
Romantic 5. Now I was on the phone with Theodore the other day.
Everything
Shout out
is frozen.
Grand Wizard Theodore. I was also on the phone with Grand Mixer DXT.
DXT.
There I am again.
Shout out to those brothers.
I'm back. Oh, now Whip is gone. Gone.
I'm not gone. I'm here.
No, Whip is here. Whip is crispy. Your camera is very crisp. Whip.
Can you guys hear me?
Out of all the cameras, yours is the most
Oh,
crisp
Lord.
besides mine.
Well, we like to be seen. Well,
Hey, everybody! Oh shit, we got about 1,300 people in the chat right now in the room.
yes.
Checking us out. Make sure you click the like button.
Connection is bad.
Your connection is bad. You're in Detroit, right?
Well, no, well,
I'm in Detroit. I'm in Detroit.
sometimes
Yeah.
when you guys are, everybody's there now. Over in Silk is frozen.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Van Silk is looking a little glitchy.
No, I'm good.
Nuh-uh.
Man, he's trying to get Raheem in here.
Oh, come on now. I'm frozen.
Yeah, you're looking a little.
I'm back.
Hey, somebody, you got to turn your. I can hear your computer playing or something like that. Do you have headphones or something? Because I hear it playing back in the background.
No, that's me. I had to cut my phone down. I'm watching your feed while we was talking. That's my fault.
So,
Hey, Ruben.
Rubie,
Okay.
can you hear us, Rubie D?
Yes, sir.
How was it to be one of the early, you know what I mean, early Puerto Ricans in this hip hop game, man? Like, because you was a pioneer. That hip hop wasn't something that a lot of Puerto Ricans was doing at the time, correct?
That is correct. That's correct. It was an experience, just something that I just had to try it, and
How did you get into it? Who introduced you to hip hop? What got you? Who got you rapping?
well, you know what? I was coming from a baseball game in St. Mary's Park. And right there at Mars is where AJ and them lived at. They were playing. There was some music. I didn't know it was them. There was music there. And to I'll be honest, a nice, beautiful young lady walked by and I followed her in.
Hmm.
And as AJ was cutting the records, I could already envision when the next cut was coming in. And, I'm just kind of like, close your eyes and you know what's coming. And in one of those moments, I looked up and he called me over. And you know how that goes at the block parties. Once you go under the ropes, you were down.
Mm.
AJ.
Now at this party, where was this party at?
This party was at the Morehouses.
The Morehouses. This
Yeah,
is
St.
those
Mary's
are
Park,
projects?
149th.
That's where AJ used to live, 149th Street.
That's where AJ lived at. Yeah, him and Lovebug was over there.
Hey, can I tell you something real funny?
And at that party, was it mad? It was mad black people in there.
It was nothing but. It was nothing but.
Said nothing but.
Nothing but.
Nothing but. And in the dark, see me? I looked like I was black too.
Yeah, I love it. He said it was nothing but.
Nothing but. And you know what? I
That's
hired
the truth.
AJ, rest in peace, to do a show. I used to run I was like the vice president of the parents, the tenant patrol, in the building. And then he couldn't come. And he called me about 3 days earlier to talk about, he told me that he had the opportunity of making more money somewhere else. And, well, life goes on. But I walked away from there, and as I walked, going up 3rd Avenue, back up to Boston Road, I could hear music. And I followed that music, my ear to that music, and I bumped into the L Brothers.
Mm.
I bumped into the L Brothers. And
63 Park, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Theodore,
Yes, sir.
Mean Gene, Cordio.
Mean Gene Cordio, Grand Wizard Theater. Well, Theodore at the time. Kevy Kev, Robbie Rob, and Starsky. Those were the names at the time.
Busy B Starsky.
No, it used to be Starsky.
Right.
And then because Busy used to like to play on everybody's equipment. So Master Rob called him Busy B because he'd be going like pollinating everywhere he goes.
I never knew that.
That's how he got that name, Busy B.
That's butter.
And the funny thing, Jamar and fellas, I want to say this about AJ because his first MC was MC Kenny G.
Kenny G.
Yes.
And I also want to let people know that AJ baby mama Jean lived in Morehouses. AJ actually lived with his grandmother across the street in 550 Caldwell, St. Mary's, on the 2nd floor. I'm gonna tell you something. Guess who lived next door to AJ's grandmother?
Who?
Pigmeat Markham.
Whoa. I wish I had a bomb to drop right there, but
Word up.
we'll just go with the clap and shit.
Avenue, that's where he lived at. Apartment 2A. She lived in apartment.
Francis. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, for real.
Can I give you 2 more?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to real quick though. I want to ask y'all about graffiti real quick because a couple of people
going to the L Brothers parties. I learned to love it, and became Rubie D. Listening to Kevin and Rob. Kevin and Rob went down south to visit their grandma, and the L Brothers threw a party at this old place on 168th Street. The place was called Rock City, but we used to call it Duck City because you have to go between rooms. You had to duck. I'm only 5'5". I used to have to duck. So yeah, it was small. And one day they were gone.
I did not know that about you. You just sounded tall to me.
Yeah.
Seriously. I would have never thought you was 5'5". See, I lived in the land of tapes and imagination.
Can you imagine if we had social media back then?
That'd have been like, that's Rubie D.
You see, a lot of guys, it's a lot easier for cats today to do things through social media and all of this, all these iPhones and.
So let me ask you something. Let me ask y'all. Did y'all ever have any like Puerto Ricans approach y'all and be like, "Why y'all fucking with that Moreno music? Why you fucking with those cocolos?"
You know, I never got that, but I know Disco Wiz got that.
Rubie D said he did. Let me hear about that, Rubie. You like that? Why you like the Moreno music? That nigga music?
From
Those fucking cocolos.
From the very beginning, los cocolos.
You know how it goes.
That fucking word.
With program.
Huh? Tell me about that. Tell me about
from the very
almost
beginning,
being persecuted by your people.
When I told you guys that I came out of
black music.
Yes. Somebody once told me once it was called hip hop. Somebody said, "Man, you going back to do one of those hippity hop movies?" I was like, "What? Hippity hop?" Wow, never heard it like that before.
Yeah, you hear a lot of Morenos talking about you up and playing that guala shit.
Right.
And,
you know.
And my daughter mother's Spanish, and I'm like, yo, I'm doing a party tonight. Oh, you doing that hibbity bibbity bop shit? I'm like, at one point I felt embarrassed because we used to get persecuted. We used to get persecuted by y'all just mess with that hibbity. It's a bunch of noise, it's garbage. And that's at one point I almost started to believe it. Because everybody didn't understand what was being materialized in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Now, see, I think what you know, I think the frustration by people that are calling themselves foundational Black Americans. Really, I just want to say we're melanated people, first of all. I don't even like saying the word black.
Yes.
But anyway, you know, there's a lot of frustration because it seems like every time we come up with something, there's always, you know, outside forces that's trying to take some sort of credit away from us. Like we have no doubt that Puerto Ricans were there and contributing to what we were doing in the beginning. You know what I mean? But it's one thing to contribute to something, and it's another thing to actually have created it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's all that we're trying to say. Like, why do you think it's so important to right now, especially for a lot of Puerto Ricans, to feel like they have some sort of, you know, I don't know, need to make some sort of stake?
Can't hear
like that.
too well.
What do you think that's about? Because a lot of times I see them like turning the issue where that's not really the issue. It's not the issue. Nobody's saying that Puerto Ricans, or one lady like to say Latinos.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear him perfect.
You can't hear me, Rubie D?
You
might have to check your settings. Can you hear me now?
Hey, I know that commercial.
Well, I'm trying to, before I forget my train of thought, it's just like, oh wait, here he comes on a different one. Hold on.
If I'm gonna jump ahead to even before what you're gonna ask, I don't like. It's like, let's say we're shooting a movie, right? People just want their credits up there.
Yes.
I just want my credit up there. That's all.
Right.
You know, because look at it now. There's bugs is rapping in every language you could possibly imagine.
Thank you.
Japanese, Chinese, Russian, Italian. You know, we started some shit. It started with us.
FU2 said, Fat Joe said Latinos created 50% of hip hop. while on the Angie Martinez show a few weeks ago, which is where this convo became a topic. And that's really where this all started from. You know what I mean? And we're just trying to get some clarity from brothers that were there to where absolutely y'all contributed.
Mm-hmm.
But to say 50%.
Okay, let's get logical. How many DJ groups back in the day were there, and they were predominantly black? And there was how many DJs that were Hispanic, and how many of them? Like
a handful.
Yeah. So
having a Hispanic, having a Puerto Rican in your group was like a secret weapon. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Yo, I got a Puerto Rican in my group. Like, what? Like, yeah, and he's nice. You know what I mean? Like, that was like a fucking secret weapon. Just like later, it was a secret weapon to have a white boy because you didn't think necessarily that was for them. And so, because you knew offhand that this was some black shit. You know what I mean? But yes, other people can do it. And other people did do it. And the ones that was there early, now who I'm saying wasn't there was white people. Puerto Rican people were there. I don't even like when they say Latinos because I feel like it's Puerto Ricans that were there. Like Latinos would now include like Mexicans and Ecuadorians and all Haitians, kind of Spanish-speaking people. It wasn't all Spanish-speaking people. It wasn't Latinos. It was Puerto Ricans specifically.
Puerto Ricans.
But then we can even get more deep and more philosophical and be like, what really is a Puerto Rican? like, aren't y'all just really black people that was on an island that, you know, the Spanish, you know, it was small,
I'm gonna tell you
later, maybe quicker and all of that type of shit. Like, aren't we all just melanated people? Why are we even fighting over that distinction too? I'm just saying.
Nah, but you're right though, because I mean, in all honesty, it all came from the drum. What record was that?
You ever seen the picture? You guys ever seen the picture of there's a picture of a Puerto Rican that says our heritage. It starts off in the island, and there were Taino Indians there.
Yes.
Then Christopher Columbus came over, and he brought black slaves.
Now, Christopher Columbus found Indians here in America. He found black people here in America.
Indians, that made us.
Yeah. Yeah.
That made us. When he got there, he said, you know how they say Columbus, when he got there, he said, this is a rich port because they, you know, so many things can grow.
All those bananas and mangoes,
plantains. In Puerto Rico.
Yep. Puerto Rico, rich port.
Yeah, they had a lot of that shit though, in all the Caribbean, like, you know.
Yeah, that's I always say it's a Caribbean thing.
And the Taino Indians weren't just in Puerto Rico; they were here in America too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and these were what you would think are African. These were African-looking people. These so-called Indians. They're not the Indians that you would think of today, and that's where they try to trick us. And all of that.
Puerto Rico.
And all of that is straight because of the raping and pillaging they did on a small island, not because Indians' hair is straight.
You know, if you go to Puerto Rico, there's a place there, there's a town there, where everybody there is dark skinned.
Yes, darker than me. Yes.
Piñones. I know, Lois Aldea. That's what Tego Calderon about there. All the dark, you see all the dark African. Yeah.
So so it's funny that, you know, it's like, why it's almost people don't want to be, you want to be one with us, but then you don't want to be one. I'm not saying y'all, but I'm just saying people in general, like, they act like they want to rock with black people, but, you know, I kind of want my separation and all of that. Like, everybody. And I understand what you're saying though about getting your credits in the film. And yes, but having your credits in the film, like, I might be an actor in the film and I've acted in TV shows and films, but that doesn't necessarily give me ownership to the film.
Oh no.
You see,
Right.
whoever had this brainchild in their mind, you know what I mean, to be like, you know what, I'm gonna make a film about hip hop and it's gonna fucking do this, da da da. That's the one that owns the fucking film, and if they decide to sign the rights off to somebody else and we can get some money, then they're gonna own it too. But anybody that participates in the film are actors and directors and all, you know.
Right.
They're aiding in this film, and if we get an Academy Award, we all get that award. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not getting ownership royalties. I'm just getting actors royalties because I just participated in the grand creation. See what I'm saying? And yes, I do want my credit for that, and I deserve my credit for that. You see what I'm saying?
You know, I would put it, you know, the stars of the show was the black community. Puerto Ricans, we came along, we were the co-stars, I guess is what I want to say. If that's the proper way to say it, but we were the co-stars, and we're still here.
Or best supporting actors.
Yeah.
Best supporting actors. And that's a great prestigious thing.
But I want to say this real quick. As I'm reading the timeline, Jamal, we sitting here with Lord Jamal, who has a great following. And you got the
DXT just sent me Raheem's email. Hang on a second. We're about to bring Raheem.
You got the first two Hispanic MCs here telling you when they got in the game, and people sitting up here not believing. It's sad that we they telling you, and they still want to believe something else. Like now Rubie did what don't know what they're talking about. And it's sad.
What? I was on the mic.
Really?
It's like they telling you 1978. What more do you want? Like, come on.
This is gonna
1978. Yeah. What year did you get into? Did you start rapping, Rubie D?
Late 76, early 77.
76, 77.
The Furious Five were still the three MCs.
So if we go by the timeline of 73 and y'all is the first Puerto Ricans, that means that hip hop was going for at least 3 years before any Puerto Ricans touched the hip hop soil, correct?
Pretty much.
Correct.
I would say that.
Okay,
but then again, at the same time, it didn't really blow. 73 was that event, but I didn't see really things happening until the latter 77 and where I jumped in at, 77, 78.
And what do we mean by things happening?
It wasn't, it was still a money-making DJ Hollywood. I'm in my club, Pete DJ Jones Club, Eddie Chiba, Broadway International Club. It was still more, I want to be dressed, and it was an adult thing. And I think because we were so young, that of course we weren't allowed in these spots, but we got in, because I had a beard since God knows when. But we got in, and that was a whole scene where I was like, it's like this ain't us, yo. But Hollywood was a bad man. I give it to these guys, and I mention those guys because I heard these guys, and it gives you you build, you fill yourself up with, okay, this is something different. Now, how can we put a twist on it and make and work with it? Now, I want to say one thing that really doesn't have too much to do with what we're talking about, but you turn on your TV early days and you see the cowboys and Indians. Where did they come from? You see the cowboys and Indians. That I believe, I not only do I believe, but I know instilled in a lot of people's minds hate, racism, prejudice. Because how you gonna come to another man's country and shoot him for it? And where do we get that from? If you take 5 kids, Chinese, Japanese, French, Italian, black, white, put them together in the room and let them play. They will play all freaking day. It ain't until you taught or your family or your upbringing or you see just as simple as something as simple as watching Cowboys and Indians, Lone Ranger and Tonto. They was two, and they were together. So you can't really go. But the majority of those cowboy and Indian movies, Indians are savages. We got to kill them. Yo, scalp you, da. And I think that and that was the seed that fucked this whole world up. I know it's the seed. Think about it all over the world. Germany had Hitler, you know. So it wasn't just here. It's all over the world. But Americans, like right now, I go somewhere, they'll smile in my face. But as soon as I walk by, they be like, fuck it. You know, and they'll give you that stink eye. That's just implanted. I rest my case.
So, do y'all know anything about graffiti of the time? Like how that hip hop graffiti and some of the first hip hop graffiti artists, like this, like with the styles that as we know it now.
Tracy.
Phase, huh?
Phase 2, Lonnie Woods.
Mm-hmm.
2, yeah.
Even our flight came.
Now, Phase was a black. Was Phase black? What was he?
What was Phase? Lonnie Woods. I think he was black, but
Lonnie Woods. That sounds like a black man's name.
We gotta find
black.
out.
Yep, Phase was black, as far as I know.
Apparently, Scene was white. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tracy was too.
Tracy's
Remember, we used to use Anthony Riley. A. Riley.
But let's not leave our buddy Esquire and Straight Man from making flyers too now.
Oh shit! Hold up, ladies and gentlemen.
A. Riley, Anthony Riley.
The man, the myth, the legend just walked up in through the door, ladies. His name is Raheem. It's a hell of a dream. He's the king of his castle. Don't give him no motherfucking hassle, ladies and gentlemen. My brother Raheem. Oh shit! Peace, God. Wait, I don't hear you, God. I don't hear you. Okay.
You hear me, Rob?
What up?
What's up, Rob?
It's like you sound like I can hear you, but it sounds like mad far away or some shit. Yeah.
I don't hear him.
Time we here, man. We taking our time with this one. Hey, everybody that's in the chat right now, make sure you click the like button. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and click all. If you're just joining us, we are with hip hop legends, Whip a Whip, Van Silk, Rubie D, and now in the house, Raheem. Woo! From the Furious 5 and the Funky 4.
What up?
Oh,
what up?
Gracious, it's getting crazy up in here, man. I can't even lie. I was a little kid listening to all of y'all on tape. just like imagining. That's what I'm saying. Imagining in my mind. It was a lot of imagination you had to do back then, like with them tapes and shit. If you wasn't old enough to like be moving around and be going to fucking jams and shit like that, like what the fuck y'all was doing.
Standing by the speaker with the boombox on record.
I couldn't even do that. Like I had to get the tape of the guy that did that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes our shits, by the time we get it, have so much hiss on the motherfucker because this nigga taped it from this nigga's cousin and that one.
8th generation tapes.
Exactly, but the shit is still rocking though. You still can hear what the fuck. And you just hearing, you know what I mean?
No.
Oh, I think we're hearing you now.
I heard you there. I hear you there.
Now.
All right.
What's good, Raheem?
What's good? It is.
Peace.
What's good, Ron?
We
Peace
great.
to the gods.
You looking great, brother.
I'm just trying to keep it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you look good, girl. You look great, girl. We were talking about earlier how Because when Sha Rock came, actually when we was in Brooklyn, when my show was in Brooklyn at the Black Lady Theater, she actually came to the show, and she was like, yeah, Raheem was down with us first, and you know what I mean, before he went to the Furious 5. And I was like, oh word, I didn't know that. Like, she was like, yeah, she's like, a lot of groups wanted Raheem, you know what I mean? And I was like, word, I was like, what made Raheem so, like, you know what I mean, such a player like that everybody wanted? And it was like, yo, he just had that, like, she was like, he just had that shit back then. Like I don't even know what she wasn't necessarily put a finger on. She was just like, yo, he just had that energy in the parties and all that type of shit.
Well,
what do you think it was, brother?
Well, overall, you know, without me sounding like I'm you know, full of myself, I was one of the first to sing and rap. And you know, so I would like remix.
I think that's what she said too. Yep.
Yeah, I would remix like Jackson 5 songs and sing, you know, Michael's parts and use my group's name, you know, KK, Keith, Sha Rock, and myself, all our names in the songs or whatever, and Breakout's name. And so that was what kind of set me apart from, I think, other MCs at that particular juncture. You know what I mean?
That's very interesting.
We battled.
Fast forward, not to cut you off, but now fast forward to where we're at with someone like Drake. And you see how singing and rapping is like have a symbiotic relationship with each other, and that this motherfucker is super winning. Like, do you look at that and feel like, damn, I'm kind of the genesis of that type of shit?
Yeah, I kind of do, but you know, quietly. I don't go around, you know, broadcasting that shit to anybody.
Fuck that. I'll do it. I'll broadcast it. He was one of the first ones. He was the first one to do that shit, y'all.
You know, intelligent people don't make the claim of being the first to do anything when you know full well that there is nothing new under the sun.
Wait. So that's you on the beatbox. Just step in the party.
Actually, yeah, that is me.
The rhythm of the beatbox. What?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Hold up.
Why
Hold
you
up. What
say,
about
I don't know if I knew that. I don't know if I knew who that was necessarily back then. Like exactly who was doing what.
In the party, but I can't keep from getting
on the dance floor.
Music sounds so sweet.
So sweet.
Maybe want to get up on my seat. Should be tired. Yeah, that was all me right there, bro.
Down.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, see, I could do the backups. I know my shit. Can't I can take the rhythm because I get down even when it money beats by.
Thanks.
What? Yo, that's some classic shit right there. And hold up. And wait, and you had knowledge of self, correct, God? You got knowledge of self?
Factual.
You had knowledge of self since back then, God?
Yep.
I got in the Nation of Gods and Earths when I was 11. My cousin Green Eye Kevin came up to me on the block. I lived on 1945 Vice Avenue across from PS6 on Tremont. And my cousin Green Eye Kevin came up to me and was like, yo, cuz, study these lessons. He didn't even tell me what it was. He was like, next time I see you, you better know this. And he was like, yo, you can't eat pork. Tell Aunt Glo you can't eat pork. I went upstairs. I told my mom I can't eat pork. She was like, what? You was born and raised on pork, boy. Right? But one of my older brothers who was Muslim, who just came home, my mom catered to, you know, his eating habits, and he didn't eat pork. So she wound up stop cooking pork. And so I was good. You know what I mean? I studied them lessons. And
I'm gone. I can hear me.
my first name as a god in the nation was Amar. I mean, yep.
Every day.
And then he said, "My name is Raheem. I'm a son of a queen.
I'm the
I'm
king,
the king of my castle.
Don't give me
Don't
no
give me no hassle." Like that was God body talk early, like that y'all don't even understand. Yo, and I quoted you as one of the early gods of hip hop in my book when I did my solo album, the 5% album.
I read that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Peace, guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So tell us about the times, how you remember it. And listen, like, I mean, just for the record, just so y'all know, we love our Power Rule brothers. We love our Puerto Rican brothers. You know what I mean? And we're not trying to say that brothers wasn't here and all of that. But we do need to keep it funky. We do need to keep it a foul wow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
As to where this really comes from and its roots.
Allow me to interject and just say, there are numerous people who are commenting on the inception period of hip hop who weren't there.
Yes.
Like at all. And if the information that they were disseminating to the public were accurate, they get a salute and a high-powered handshake from me. But it's not. It's not accurate. And there's a lot of urban legend that's been going around for like 45, 50 years. And, to me, it needs to stop because this is our history. And if we don't document it right, then there's other people already undermining our history and misdocumenting things and saying that things that were not factual are factual, and they have become factual as a result of years of people co-signing the myths.
So let's get it right. Like when you say the myth, let's get into it. What myth are we talking about here? In your eyes?
Well, okay. So there were the majority of the people who were participants in early hip hop culture obviously were Black, right? And there were sprinkles of Latins, Puerto Ricans mostly. I don't know any Dominicans who were actively involved in.
But they could have been because some of them looked like Black, but they just wasn't representing Dominican. But they could have been.
Factual. I had two Dominican friends, Cheeky and Herman, that lived across the street, across the hall from me. But they lived across the hall from me before I got involved in hip hop. And then when I got involved in hip hop, they came to the parties every now and then.
But they wasn't really fucking.
It wasn't their thing, right? It wasn't their thing. They wasn't fucking with it. And I was listening to earlier, to y'all talking, and there was a time when, Blacks and Puerto Ricans didn't rock with each other like that, to the point where, like, even if you were cool with some Puerto Ricans, you were cool with them when they wasn't around their people. Because when they was around their people, you was cocolo.
Exactly. Moreno, cocolo. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And even when I would go to like Bronx River Center, I was one of the few dudes from around my neighborhood, Lambert houses, that could go to Bronx River and not get robbed, because one of my OGs, rest in peace, Spider, was one of the Gestapo crew. And so he held me down, so I never got robbed when I went to Bronx River. So I went to Bronx River and I seen it all. And in Bronx River Center, like as far as B-boys is concerned, even with the B-boy culture, there were sprinkles of, you know, Latino b-boys, but few. It was just a few.
And when we're talking b-boys, we're talking like break dancers and popping
Correct.
and electric boogaloo and all that.
Right.
type of shit.
They used to do that upfront.
Because
there were many more.
Chirac and I think DXT both described themselves as nomadic b-boys and b-girls.
Right. Yes, because they were nomadic because they followed the playlist of whoever the DJ was that was playing the breaks, because that's what, you know, that's what compelled them to go to the parties in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they would go to the parties, you know. At first, the way that Kool Herc played his music, first of all, Kool Herc, Coke La Rock, Clark Kent, Timmy Tim, Nigga Twins, salute, gods of this.
Right.
They were the prototype, and every DJ, every hip hop DJ that called himself a hip hop DJ followed Kool Herc's playlist, right? And the contrasting difference between the way that Kool Herc played his records and the way that Grandmaster Flash or
Flowers and
Theodore so Flowers is that's a different conversation. Well, actually, it's the same conversation, but Grandmaster Flowers, rest in peace, legendary, but he was not a hip hop DJ. He was a disco legend, a disco DJ. He opened up for James Brown and, you know, stuff like that. And so did DJ Hollywood. DJ Hollywood's a disco legend. But what I will say about DJ Hollywood is that at one point when the first generation MCs started, they started rhyming more toast-like. And yes, y'all, and the sounds that you hear, the deaf to your ear, have no fear, because, you know what I mean? It was more toast-like. It wasn't syncopated to the rhythm, right? And then after Flash brought Cowboy, Melly Mel, and Kid Creole to 371, and they heard DJ Hollywood rhyme to the beat and do crowd response, then they changed their style. Now, when I was a member of the Funky Four, we were already rhyming like that. And that's what made us the antithesis at the time to the Furious Four. So the Funky Four battled the Furious Four May 11th, 1979 at the Webster Avenue PAL.
Thank you.
Let's see. So the way that Herc played his music was he would play the record from the beginning. All right.
Yeah.
And you would listen to the record until it got to the break. All right. And it wasn't, he didn't put his hands on the record the way that the cutting, or the way that the turntablists DJs who were birthed by Grandmaster Flash, Grand Wizard Theodore, DXT, and the lot. He didn't put his hands on the records like they did. That was like taboo. So I spoke to Clark Kent, one of Herc's proteges, and he was telling me that he saw Grandmaster Flash early on before, you know, he became notable, and he was telling Herc that Herc should put Flash down with him. And at one time when Herc had to step out for a few, he let Flash get on the turntables at one of his parties, and Flash cut shit up. He killed it. So now there's people who have been co-signing this myth for 45, 50 years, in that that Theodore made up scratching and that Flash made up the backspin. Okay? So now, Here we go.
Okay.
So if you're a thinker, right, and you are a scientist, a technician, and you understand the technical aspects of DJing, I'm an MC, but I understand this. In order to find the cue point of any record as a DJ, you have to rub the record first, right? So now, here we go. Grandmaster Flash lived in the same apartment as Grand Wizard Theodore. He lived with their family.
Mm.
And at some point in time, when they were called the L Brothers, Grandmaster Flash was a part of the L Brothers, right?
Mm.
And so Grand Wizard Theodore's older brother, Mean Gene, it was his equipment, basically. Mean Gene and Cordio, their other brother. And so, according to what I was told, Mean Gene wouldn't allow Theodore at one point to touch the equipment because Theodore was a little boy. And I mean, Theodore is short, period. You know, he's always been short.
Right, yeah.
So when he was a little boy, he was really short. And Flash said that Theodore could not reach the turntables. And so Mean Gene wouldn't allow Theodore to touch the turntables because he couldn't even damn reach them, right? Okay, so if he couldn't reach them, and he wasn't allowed to touch the turntables,
You're not
the way
scratching.
that he was able to hone his craft to become a DJ was every time his older brother, Mean Gene, left the apartment, Flash, whenever he would finish practicing, first of all, when Flash was practicing, Theodore was there, right? So Flash, his first cueing system was not a pair of headphones. It was a pair of house speakers. So he's queuing up records on house speakers, and he's playing the part the on the turntable that's supposed to be audible to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's playing out the big speakers,
Mm.
but he's queuing the record on the other turntable
Those are his
that's not supposed
monitors.
to be audible to the audience,
Right.
on house speakers. So it is audible, right? So he's queuing up the record and he's spinning the record back and obviously having to rub the record because he's
Getting
finding
it ready. Mm-hmm.
right? And Theodore is there the whole time, but Theodore can't reach the turntables, right? And so every time Mean Gene would leave the apartment to go do whatever he did, Flash would put a crate of records in front of the table so Theodore could stand on it and practice honing his craft as an aspiring DJ.
Mm.
So everything that Theodore learned, he learned from Flash.
Oh yeah.
That's all. That I'm not and the contrasting difference between Grandmaster Flash and Grand Wizard Theodore is this. Grandmaster Flash created the backspin and he mistakenly created scratching by queuing up the record, and Theodore heard him queuing up the record and took scratch.
I'm going to make this audible.
Right. That's what happened. That's how it happened.
Mm.
Okay.
That shit sounds cool. I'm going to actually use that.
That's some good info.
I'm going to slide the fader over while I'm doing that.
Exactly.
And that's going to be a thing.
Exactly. That's how it happened.
Mm.
But the myth has been going on for so long because people who weren't there continue to co-sign the myth, because there's a contingency of people who are Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five detractors, or Grandmaster Flash detractors, whatever. And so, you know, anybody but Grandmaster Flash or Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five can be credited in this eye, as long as it's not us. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, You heard it right here.
And with all due respect, love, admiration, Grand Wizard Theodore, Mean Gene, Cordio, the L Brothers, the Fantastic Five, legendary from day one in my book, always will be, always was, and much respect to y'all. I have nothing but love for you brothers. Whip a whip.
God bless you, man.
Word.
Same here, baby. I just learned something today.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, if you think about the mechanics of DJing and the science of it, you know what I mean. And wait, and you know what? Let me just acknowledge my brother, legendary promoter Van Silk. Even though you ain't shit, I just want to tell you, this whole time you've been sitting there listening to Lord Jamar mention me. You mentioned me. You got my goddamn email address, and you couldn't send me the link. See how niggas ain't shit. Niggas.
Well, DXT came through.
Yeah.
And he not even here. He riding on a bike right now, probably from motherfucking Jersey to Manhattan or some crazy shit. He practiced.
Yeah, that's him. Right.
Well, bike run. He doing crazy shit.
Right.
Yo, he be wilding. Shout out to DXT. He's serious with them bike.
Yeah, I ride my bike from BX to BK like maybe 2-3 times. Yeah.
Okay. That's probably how you stay looking young like that.
I'm like 20 pounds less than what I weighed in high school, bro.
Wow.
Word.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's real out here.
Wow.
So we have MCing, DJing, graffiti.
Oh, so graffiti,
dancing,
okay.
Yeah, graffiti.
So graffiti predates all of that shit.
Yeah, that's hieroglyphics. See, in my humble opinion, graffiti is really not part of hip hop culture. It's a subculture within itself because it was here for forever. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers, it's cave drawings. Like, fuck out of here. Like, what are y'all telling me? You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers been doing. I'm talking about hieroglyphics and shit like that.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Mayans was doing
exactly all that.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we have to say that, you know, graffiti, it was adopted because the graffiti artists, you know, they're in the street, they're from the street. Basically.
So Rob, yeah. I'm still.
What?
I ain't canned milk today, huh?
No, yo, listen. You Van Sil, I ain't call you canned milk in.
Hey, Rob,
Canned milk.
50 years.
Hello.
That's funny.
Oh.
You say, hey, I think you said you was a carnation baby earlier, right?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Carnation milk. That's right.
That's canned milk right there. Remember that canned milk?
Better believe it. Canned milk, government cheese. Yo.
I used to drink that nasty ass
remember
milk.
This shit, yo?
Somebody just told me you're supposed to dilute it.
Right. Yo, you remember in 1976? Remember when we had the paper food stamps, and then when your mom sent you to the store and they gave you change, you got the fucking plastic coin food stamps, bro.
Yes.
Yo, that was the worst shit ever for the son.
I just remember the bicentennial quarter. I was pretty young. In 76, I was 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. I was 13.
I remember being on the Henry Hudson watching the Navy ships go by.
I remember they had the bicentennial quarter. That was like a big fucking thing.
I remember Richard Pryor dropped the album Bicentennial Nigga.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
See, I probably didn't get to hear that for a minute.
Yo, we used to have to listen to Richard Pryor albums like on the low and shit.
On the low.
Like word.
My mom's didn't even have that type of shit. Like I had to go to somebody else's crib to hear some
I
shit.
couldn't play that at my house.
I started that can milk shit.
No.
Yeah,
You still on?
He's still on Ken. Yo, you feel some type of way about that, huh?
What about the canned milk?
Yeah, bro. Yo, my son was calling you a worse name, though. I ain't even gonna say it. You know what
shit.
it is.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Yo, how my little man doing, Van?
He froze.
Nah, he ain't froze. I just seen him move.
Yeah, he moving.
Yeah, he moving.
Yo, how my little
You
man
hear
doing,
him,
Van?
man?
Yo, Van, how your grandson?
He kind of froze over there.
Yeah, he froze.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I seen him moving half.
Yo,
He's moving.
He moved like.
Let me tell you, in my acting class, right? In my acting class, sometimes I be acting like I'm frozen and shit. You know what I mean? So, like, I start a conversation and I just be on some.
Hey, yo, but how am I going to?
What?
Yeah, I think you need to recharge your battery.
Yeah, can you hear us,
somebody
Van?
gotta
Van, can you hear us?
wave if you can hear us.
So yeah, man.
He's frozen over there.
This is a treasure to get, people who were actually there.
Oh, yo,
at the
wait,
time.
nah, here's another myth, bro.
Let's go.
Mythbuster.
Mythbusters, let's go.
Yeah, here we go, Mythbusters.
Raheem from the God Raheem, let's go.
Yo, KRS-One did not live in 1520 Cedric Avenue at no time. He was never. Come on, man. Like, don't do that. How you doing? Like, come on, man. He's a phenomenal artist. I love all his music, but don't do that. You hold a place in a very important place in this culture, and you don't have to embellish. You don't have to, you don't have to put out false history, because you have a very rich history of your own, and you should tell your own story and let the people who were actually there tell the story. You know what I mean? With all due respect, that's all.
So what you're saying is, you don't have to be a star, baby, to be in my house.
Yo, Lord, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like, seriously, I'm blackballed, but it's all right because I got black balls.
Okay. Oh man. So, well, yeah, I didn't know that KRS was saying that.
Yes. There's numerous videos of him saying this,
but he's saying that he grew up in the building where hip hop started or some shit. Is that what he's saying?
Huh?
Right. Yes. He's saying he lived in that building.
Huh?
Yeah.
1520.
And Silk is like, huh?
He's saying this on video, bro. I'm not a shit starter for no reason. When I start shit, there's a purpose behind it. All right?
And I didn't bring them up to do this right now. Like, I didn't know this was coming.
Nobody had
get mad at me and shit.
This isn't scripted. Nobody had any idea what I was gonna say or what anybody else was gonna say.
You weren't even supposed to be on here.
And I wanted to be on for this very reason, because the bullshit needs to stop. It just needs to. All right. And you know, I guess I've created some enemies for myself. But you know, it's okay. I'm here for all the smoke and whatever else comes with it.
Listen,
But at the end of
I've been there, done that. Do it again.
Yeah,
It's all good. You'll be all right.
Exactly. But I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. I'm just trying to tell the story accurately. That's all.
Yes.
That's all. Because see,
facts over feelings.
Right. Exactly.
Like
this
that.
shit is going in museums, bros. This shit is going in museums, bros. Museums.
Yep.
So if the shit goes in a museum inaccurately, right?
It needs to be taught correctly.
And it doesn't get corrected, that makes it factual. That's
right.
that's like, man.
And then if you let it go, that's almost like a rape victim, right? Who like lets the shit go mad years, and then you like try to be like, this motherfucker raped me. Well, why you let it go that long?
It's even
like,
worse.
Why you didn't say nothing right when it was happening?
Lord, it's even worse. It's like a false religion, bro. It's like a false religion, bro.
Speak on it, girl.
Yeah. You know where this is going.
Speak on it. I gave you the floor right there. I gave you one of those. So I'm taking a token, letting you speak, God. God said it's like a false religion. Oh. God,
now people seeing horns on my head and shit.
Hold up. Oh, we got hang on, Van Silk coming in. Well, we got to take him out of this one. Hold up. Remove. And then I'm going to add this one. All right, there we go.
Yeah, he's back up to him.
No, I got knocked off because Theodore just called.
Oh, that's what's up. And
so I got knocked off.
Get on, Theodore.
Yeah, I mean, I told Theodore. Let me see.
Well, you got to tell him.
See, Theodore probably thinks that I don't like him, and that couldn't be further from the truth. I have much love and respect for Theodore. I just want the truth to be told. That's it. And the truth being told is not slighting Theodore, because he's still a legend. He's still an architect of this. I just want it to be said and acknowledged that he learned what he knows from Flash. That's all.
Well, hey, Theodore, you want to get on?
We'll go.
Well, you know, the gist of it is, man, at the end of the day, Raheem, what do you call, is hip hop black music?
Absolutely. But it has become, culturally diverse. But yeah, it's ours.
At its roots.
At its roots, we created.
Right.
Yes, we created it.
Now, what is your background as far as your family background?
My mom's side of my family is Haitian Creole, and from Louisiana Creole, and my dad's side of my family is native Black American from Georgia. Yep.
Copy.
Yep. Yeah, and growing up in the 60s, I remember listening to James Brown's music. James Brown was like my first Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? And when my mom got tired of playing DJ, when she got tired of being a DJ at our little house parties, she would have me come out and entertain, and I danced like James Brown and to his songs and all of that. And that was like the precursor for me getting into breakdancing, because then I think maybe it was like 1972, a song by a group named the Olympic Runners came out called "Put the Music Where Your Mouth Is." Do-do-doom, doom-do-doom, doom-do-doom, do-do-doom. Doom,
Okay.
doom, 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 doom,
Right.
doom, doom, doom.
Mm-hmm.
So that joint right there made me start doing dance moves. Like I was already doing like splits like James Brown, but then we moved to Lambert Houses. And when we moved to Lambert Houses, I met this dude, One Eye Andre, and Andre used to break dance, him and one of my homies, Eminem, and they took me to my first Cool Herc party, and that was in 1976. I was 13, and the atmosphere was like fucking electric, bro. It was it was packed. Weed smoke. It was in the PAL. B-boys. The first record that I remember hearing Herc play when I walking into the PAL was T Plays It Cool by Marvin Gaye. That's one of my all-time favorite breaks. Killing shit. Right. Only people I heard use that shit as far as sampling in hip hop was Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. Touch of Jazz. Hip hop. Touch of Jazz.
Yeah, that was some shit right there. Oh shit, Theodore is calling me right now.
That's what's up.
Hold up,
Yes,
I could bring him in on the phone.
Good. Yes.
1 second. Hang on. Theodore.
Lord Jamar, what's up, sir?
We on here right now, man. I got Rubie D on here. I got Van Silk. Huh? Yeah, Whip a Whip. I got Raheem is here, man. What's up, man? You want to come up on here? I can send you the link.
Can they hear me?
I got you on speaker right now. Yeah.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, can you speak? Go ahead. I thought I had a thing where you could. It should hook up to my phone. Oh well, hold up. Oh I gotta hook my Bluetooth up to it. Hang on a second. I could bring you in. Give me a second.
Yo, Jamal.
I just finished.
Yeah.
I just finished teaching my class. You know.
Okay. Hang on a second. I think I'm connected.
I was teaching my class and stuff like that.
Go ahead. Let me see. Yeah, talk.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Everybody hear me?
Oh, there you go.
I can hear you, Theo.
What up?
Rubie D.
What up,
What's
Theo?
up, everybody?
What up, Theo?
Yeah, I was teaching my class, man, so I couldn't I was teaching my class, so I couldn't join you guys and stuff like that, man. You know? I've been doing a lot of traveling, man, around the United States, teaching a lot of classes and stuff like that at a lot of universities and stuff like that, man. And when I speak about the pioneers and stuff like that and the legends, you know, I got nothing but good things to say, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say this to you, Raheem. You got to keep my name out your mouth, man, because you don't know nothing.
Yo, Theodore. Listen, see. First of all, that's not the. That's
Problem with the serious five no more.
This is supposed to be a conversation, brother.
And you on drugs. Why you
Say
can't
what?
talk about that?
I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Why you
No,
can't
what?
talk about that? Why
Listen.
the serious is on tour and you're not on.
What we trying to get to the root of is who's the creators of this hip hop shit.
You know,
Keep my name on your mouth.
yo,
with all
check
due
this out.
respect.
Check this out. Check this out, Theodore. Let me explain something to you, Theodore.
You ain't explaining nothing to me.
No. Hey.
Well, you know what? You and your feelings. I'm trying to talk to you like a man, but you talking to me like a woman.
All right, listen, chill, brothers.
the way you talking right now.
We love you, brother. I'm gonna talk to you later. I don't want.
It won't be none of this when you see me, bro. It won't be none of this when you see me. You don't even come up to my balls, bro. Fuck out of here.
Peace,
like, nigga, you don't even come up to my balls, nigga. Fuck is you talking about?
Chill. I cut that short, man. Listen. We're not here for that. We're not here for that. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Listen, I ain't know nothing like this was even gonna transpire, whatever the case may be.
All I got to say about this. All I got to say about this is this. Whatever people say on the show or on social media is one thing. But when niggas see niggas in person, it be something totally different. That's all I got to say.
I mean,
that's all I got to say.
And we know. But you know, the bottom line is, man, this hip hop is some great shit, and we all have benefited in some way by being a part of it. We've you know, we've done some historic shit just by being a part of it. You know what
the problem is, though? People get comfortable in lies and untruths. And so when someone such as myself or anyone else who tells the truth comes forward, if it's inconsistent with their truth, then there's something wrong with the truth teller. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I smoke the shit out of some weed. That's the only drug I'm on. Other than that, I ain't on no drugs. I'm in the best shape of my motherfucking life. I look better than all you motherfuckers.
Listen, Big Lou said if Jamaicans created hip hop, then why didn't they create it in the UK as well? There is no original hip hop in the UK. It's all FBA culture.
Wow.
Do y'all feel like Jamaicans created hip hop, like people are saying?
Well, I think that Jamaicans, you know, had a hand in influencing, you know, toasting and what have you. But you know, really the precursor for hip hop started in like the fucking 30s and 40s, bro. Like that was the precursor. You know, there's
the precursor was also the Dozens.
Right,
the
exactly.
way motherfuckers used to snap.
Right. You know, there was you know, Pigmeat Markham, you know, Here Comes the Judge. You know, if you remember, I know all of us here on this joint, maybe not you, Lord, but y'all remember Flip Wilson's show. You know what I mean? Flip Wilson did a skit doing Here Comes the Judge. You know what I mean? And so all of these things were precursors for hip hop. You know, obviously we know about the Last Poets. We know about Gil Scott-Heron, you know. And so we could say that you know, Jamaicans had a hand in it, but overall.
But really, it's one Jamaican. Who's the Jamaicans? Who's these Jamaicans?
The one
guy who was Jamaican who wasn't presenting himself as Jamaican.
That's true, because he was
presenting himself as a Black American.
And had
playing soul music. We weren't playing reggae music.
No.
We weren't playing no other music but shit that Black people was fucking with.
Right.
So, I mean, again, we trying to get to the bottom of all of this. You know, a lot of people are saying a lot of things. Well, these ones created this, and well, no. If that's the case, why wasn't it created in Jamaica?
Right.
Why wasn't hip hop? Y'all had toasting, y'all had sound systems and all that. How come hip hop didn't spring up in Jamaica?
No, it was
What's so
created here.
special about America that hip hop was created here?
The conditions
Bronx.
created the conditions in the Bronx.
Or you know.
Yes.
And is it just the Bronx? Because some people will argue and say that, you know, DJing and on some of that shit was going on all over.
Well, one thing we can say for certainty is that no one person could be everywhere at one time, right? So because of the fact that no one person could be everywhere at once, we can't say with any great amount of certainty what was going on any place other than where we were, right? Okay. So now that we've come to that conclusion and we all agree on that.
And all of y'all here were in the Bronx, yes? Is everybody in this room was in the Bronx?
Born and raised.
Yep.
Bronx, Lebanon, 171st Grand Concourse.
I was born in the Bronx too, Albert Einstein Hospital.
I was born in Jacoby.
Aha, my grandmother worked at Jacoby for years.
Okay.
So
social worker.
So one of the things that helped the Bronx.
I'm the old hospital on Brooklyn Boulevard. The old
Van. Whatever. You have turn your speaker down because it's echoing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's better. All right, so one of the things that I remember distinctly coming up around that time in the Bronx was that this car service.
Is that better?
Yes, that's much better.
Yes.
OJ car service.
Yes, the OJs, man.
All right. Obviously, there's a few records from back then where, we're talking about OJs. And so OJ car service had luxury cars. It was a cab service in the Bronx.
But they play hip hop in there. You could smoke weed in the car.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you could put we do what we call put an OJ on hold.
Yeah.
Putting an OJ on hold was you paid $25 and that would hold that car for at least an hour, or it would take you to a destination equivalent to $25 worth of the trip or whatever. So the OJs would get the cassette tapes from the jams from a record shop in the Bronx called Rhythm Den that was owned by a man named Richard T. that owned the T Connection, right? And so hustlers, stick-up kids, upcoming rap artists, everybody took OJs, and there were other car services, Community, Godfather, and they had luxury cars. Right. But OJ
shout out to my man 9-0. That was my OJ dude.
Triple
when I was
three.
still fucking with OJs.
Shout out to 100.
In the early 90s, I was still, because you grow up always hearing OJ. Fuck that. I want to ride in an OJ too. Nigga. Now I got money and shit like that. Nigga. I'm calling OJs from New Rochelle, driving out to Brooklyn, all kind of crazy shit. My man 9-0. All right, go ahead. I just went on a rant.
So we would take these OJs around to all the different high schools. Whipper and Rubie D. They was down with that. Take OJ, put OJ on hold, ride around the Walton Theater, Roosevelt, Truman, Evander, all of the high schools to pass out our flyers. Right?
Pass out the flyers. Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes. In the OJ, y'all was in OJs passing out flyers.
Yep.
Yes.
And y'all must have been just like little celebrities, just just like that, like driving around in fly whips where they're playing hip hop.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
And they bumping our tapes from our party.
Wow,
You
yes.
feel me? And so when OJ car service got to the point of their popularity where hustlers and people like that was taking OJs and shit and putting them on hold, you'd see people like, I remember one time my aunt Della lived in Queens in St. Albans on Murdoch Avenue and 202nd Street. And I was standing outside her house one day and I saw an OJ pass by and it was blasting one of our party tapes. You know what I mean? It was blasting one of our party tapes. So that's how early hip hop spread around to the boroughs. And when I was down with Breakout and DJ Barron, Sha Rock, KK Rockwell, Keith, and Original Funky Four, and we would do parties. We did parties, Al Smith Center and down in LES. We did join in Far Rockaway. We battled this crew called Frisco Disco, and so like most of the crews that we battled against, even when I got down with Flash and them that were in other boroughs, they were disco crews. Most of the crews from Queens and Brooklyn, their MCs, their anthem to rhyme was "Love Is the Message."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? By MFSB. So it wasn't until really like rap records started to come out that other boroughs started really getting involved in rhyming over beats. And I would attribute that to the first people I know was my man Davey D. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. Because he used to do parties with Flash.
Whip and Rubie D. Was y'all messing with black girls back then?
Absolutely.
He said absolutely.
You fucking kidding me, man?
That's all there were.
And that's all there was. There was no Puerto Rican girls at the jams, huh?
Not at the jams. No, not at all.
He said not at all.
I ain't seen no Puerto Rican girls.
By the time I was older, they was there. By the time I was going to jams, they was there. But yeah, at your times, it was probably just black girls at the jams, huh?
Yeah. And if they was Puerto Rican, you didn't really know. You know what I mean?
And you had to go through hell to get with one. You got to go through the family, the brothers, the cousins.
Now, how did y'all wear your hair back then? Did you rock a Caesar or did you have like a
fro?
I had a fro. I had braids. I had a Caesar.
No, well, I'm talking to Rubie D and Whip right now.
My hair was long, and back then everybody used to have the Jerry curls.
No, in the 70s, Rubie, we didn't have
the scary curl. Not the scary curl.
You remember that?
No. In the 70s, we didn't have Jerry
my hair. All I ever had to do was put water on it, and it would just curl up naturally, and kind
of like what I do today.
Yeah.
That's all I do. Wet it, forget it.
But y'all wasn't rocking like the John Travolta, like.
No, not I.
Hell no.
You know, like the Eric Estrada shit.
That.
You wasn't doing that shit, right? The Eric Estrada, remember that shit?
No. Afros.
Yeah, because you wanted to look more black, right?
I went from what you saw with Rubie D to this.
The Afro Sheen blowout kit, baby.
Yeah.
What did y'all think about what was y'all what do y'all think about hip hop fashion back then? Like the type of shit y'all thought you had to wear to be artists and shit like that.
Well, to me, when we transitioned into like wearing the leather with spikes and furs and all that, that was as a result of us going on tour with like superstar groups like Rick James and the Commodores when Lionel Richie was still down with them, and Zapp, Roger Troutman, all of them. And so they were into entertaining the audience. They were into theatrics. And so when they went on stage, and Cameo, and you know, and so when they went on stage, they wore costumes. You know what I mean? Because it was like going to the theater. And so you would, and like Parliament Funkadelic, you know, like, you know, they had a spaceship, and you know, and they could come out with a diaper on, and,
I
saw that. You know, it was a whole visual spectacle. It wasn't just, and no, this isn't a slight to the artists of today who don't actually, like, who don't have choreographed dance steps, who don't use theatrics, who don't, you know, different strokes for different folks. And, you know, the audiences of today are entertained by much less than the audiences of our generation. So
did all of y'all have to do dance steps? Did you do dance steps with Whip and Rubie D?
Yeah, we have routines like that.
Y'all had routines and shit like that, right? It wasn't just because a lot of times, again, I'm young, so I'm just getting the tapes and all of that, and I have to imagine shit. I'm like, a lot of this shit is like I'm imagining what's going on in my mind. First of all, I used to think that niggas was in like Madison Square Garden or some shit like that at first. Like when they say, "Oh," I'm thinking that y'all is in like arenas and shit like that. I'm not knowing that y'all is in the PAL and the fucking rec room and all this other shit. Like T-Connect, you know, all these fucking. I just thought it was much bigger. Like I thought hip hop was like almost how it is now. Like I just assumed that it was that big. So anyway, I'm listening to the shit, and I could tell by the crowd reaction, like, well, they must be doing like a dance step or some shit right here, like, cause the girls is like, you know what I mean? Right here, like, you know what I mean? Like, these niggas must be doing a step. I don't know what it is, but they got to be doing a little dance or some shit on this little break right here. Shit, and that was common amongst groups back then, huh?
I really can't speak for too many groups. I know we did it because I know Furious did it.
The Funky Four did it.
Oh, Funky Four.
You know what I mean? When we battled the Furious Four at the PAL, they did it. And definitely the Fantastic did it. The Cold Crush did it. You know, so yeah.
What about Force MCs? Did they do?
Force MCs, absolutely, definitely. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, this is all, man. This is.
I'm really
no. But look, Jamar, can you hear me?
Yes. Was that Van?
There's still something. You're still getting feedback. There's some.
I hear some other shit too. Yeah.
There's something in something else, some other kind of audio picking up that's creating feedback.
It would be good if you had headphones, if you could just, because I think we're hearing your speakers back.
Right. I just want to say, man, I'm sorry that I had that exchange with Theodore, because that wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to discredit him in any stretch of the imagination. I was just trying to say that he got the mechanics of scratching from watching and listening to Flash doing the backspin. That's all. I wasn't saying that he's not the innovator of scratching. I wasn't saying that. So, you know, but just the very mention of his name.
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Now you can.
Yes.
Do that, man. I can hear you.
You know, I'm apologizing to you, Lord Jamar, because that wasn't the exchange that I had hoped that we would have on your, you know, on your platform, bro.
Hello?
Oh,
There
you
we
break.
go.
Oh yeah.
Can I say this?
Yes. Yes.
Raheem,
Yep.
my brother, I appreciate you saying what you're saying right now because I sat here in awe the last 15 minutes. When Theodore called me, and the thing is, we rarely get to be on big platforms.
Right.
And Lord Jamal gave us a platform tonight to talk about Hispanics
Right.
and hip hop.
Right.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And what you said, I heard that story too.
Right.
Okay? But
Right.
for him to do that, I'm not chastising him. We know certain things. We have a problem. We talk about it behind the scenes. He can have a platform to explain as well. But I'm not trying to get into all that. I just feel that in what we're trying to accomplish tonight with the Hispanic hip hop, there's going to be something that's going to pull this out to overlook or everything that we try to do tonight.
Yeah, there's melon heads that's going to try to use that bullshit. But look at here. Bottom line is, you know, our music has brought together more people than pretty much any other genre of music.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And just being a part of that, I appreciate everything. I like the fact that, because it took me around the world so many times.
But please, you know, think about this, entertain this for a second, if you will, everyone. So my explanation about the mechanics of DJing, does that not make sense?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So so, but at any point in my presentation, did you hear me discredit Theodore?
No.
So
I didn't discredit.
Thank you. So I'm not really understanding why he's being, you know, so combative. I didn't discredit him. I said he did what he did, but I said further that he was influenced by Flash because, again, he couldn't reach the turntables. So if you can't even reach the turntables, how could you hone your craft? His brother wouldn't allow him to touch the turntables. So
Thank
Flash,
you, K-Pat BX.
you know, but you know, he wants me to keep his name out my mouth, and you know.
Well, we're all too historical of figures. I mean, everybody's gonna talk about us at one point or another in this hip hop game. K-Pat BX said, I used to study you guys when y'all rock at 2000 Valentine Avenue. I copped the mixtapes from Richard T's.
That's right.
Out on Arthur Ave. I was too young for the clubs. Thank you, K-Pat BX.
That's
Enough
right.
respect. Yep.
Thank you, Pat.
And fellas, Jamal, and to all the MCs right here, the three
MCs.
Word. Gonna change it to some spick hop.
Right.
Yo, Rubie.
Well, that's what a lot of people are not gonna let happen. That's what a lot of people are here to say. We're gonna. This is black music, and yes, Puerto Ricans was down with the shit very early on, but this is definitely some shit that we came up with.
And I don't blame folks for feeling that way because I mean, look at every genre of music they took from the black folks. So, like I said, I watched that Elvis movie, and it explained a lot, but it didn't say anything that we didn't already know.
Right.
I mean, I come from that generation where I can't say, and like I hate when people say this to me too. They like, oh, yo, Lord Jamar, you're one of the pioneers of hip hop. Like, no, I'm not. Like, do you not even know about hip hop? Like, I'm not from that era. Like, but they think my era is like super old school. Like, and now you got people that think like Biggie Smalls is old school. Like,
Well, okay, let me put that in
that shit is
perspective.
crazy. Yeah.
The reason why people think Biggie Smalls is old school is because, you know, we're talking about 25 plus years almost after Biggie. So the people who grew up on Biggie, they grown now.
That's where they started.
They got responsibilities. They paying bills and shit. You know what I mean?
It's crazy to even think that it was that long. Like,
right. It is. It is. It is. It is crazy.
It's wild. Like,
gentlemen, that being said, Prince Whipper has to bounce. He has to get up.
Oh, yo, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all for coming through, man. We definitely took this conversation where, you know, I think a lot of people got the information that they need to hopefully, you know, we're not trying to exclude anybody, but we're just trying to.
Let me tell you, there's a contingency of people that keep the same story going, and it's for a reason. It's because they're working. They keep working. And the story that they're telling, it's keeping them working. I'm not working because I'm not telling the same story.
Hey,
somebody wants to know, is toasting a cultural appropriation?
It's because they keep working.
No. Like, what do you, is toasting a culture? I don't believe that Jamaicans created toasting. Did they? Toasting. Let's look up like, I think toasting is, that's,
they damn sure
created I gotta
crazy ass dancing.
Oh, that daggering. That daggering is crazy.
I done seen motherfuckers fall over tables, off of stages.
Yeah, that's
they
the
jumping
new,
off
that's
of,
the, that's the new generation of Jamaicans.
Yeah, now that's some other shit, right?
Yeah.
They jumping off of ladders and shit like
that's
that.
Daggering.
Rooftops on the motherfuckers' meat sacks. That shit is crazy.
I ain't mad at him.
Yo, Whip, how's your son, man? How old
beautiful.
is your son now?
Both of them are beautiful, man. Still ripping and running.
That's what's up.
Yep. Chip off the old prick there.
See, I believe what people are calling toasting is something that, again, we were already doing over here. Like, see, we got a lot of similarities as melanated people. That doesn't mean that we're necessarily stealing from each other. We just, again, there's certain similarities that you're going to find amongst melanated people that have never even communicated with each other. Like, they still baffled how is the Mayan shit so similar to the Egyptian shit, and we don't have records of them talking and all of that type of shit. It's like the same type of shit.
Yes.
So toasting, I mean, we've been doing versions of what you would call toasting here in America for a very long time.
True.
So we're not going to say that
let's give it
that was somehow cultural appropriation. You go right back to reggae and all of that type of shit. That was influenced by American music, Western music. They used to love country Western in fucking Jamaica. That was their shit. And every dub plate back in the early 80s used to be a remake of a fucking R&B song here from America.
Yep, that's very true.
They wasn't making no original music.
That's
it was
right.
making just putting it to a reggae beat and singing a fucking American R&B song.
Very true.
On all the dub plates.
That ass.
So who's really influencing who? Knock it off. Like, we know style-wise, we done affected the whole world. Everybody wants to dress like the black man of America. these new African artists and shit like that. They never was dressing like that. Knock it off. You know how they was dressing.
Right. We influenced the whole world, bro.
We influenced the whole world. So give us our props and stop trying to take credit. You know what I mean? Just because we so welcoming and we let everybody participate in our shit. Right. But it's like we got to understand that this is still our shit.
Yeah,
and if you're with us, then you with us. Right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we can't have it both ways. Like I feel like Puerto Ricans, I was taught that Puerto Ricans are melanated people. Like, you know what I mean? In the gods and earths, there's plenty of power rule brothers. You know what I mean? That say that the black man is God. And they see themselves as that, as the black man. So we got to stop even all this dissension of acting like, you know,
we two different.
We all different. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Unless some of us believe that we're not black, and that's a whole other internal struggle within that culture that needs to be dealt with.
There's a certain percentage of Latins who are Spaniards.
Or think that they're Spaniards because they speak
identify as Spaniards because they speak Spanish.
Right.
And identify more with being Spaniard than with being black because of the language. And I think that misconception plays a large role in people's in the divide between black and Latinos. I think the language barrier plays a very significant role.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't speak the language, because look, they treat a person who speaks Spanish completely different than a regular cocolo. You're not like derogatory when you speak the language, because you understand. Maybe because you understand, so they can't talk about you in a language that you don't understand.
True indeed.
Yep.
Entendiste, Ruben?
No.
You don't understand.
But listen, we got it from a little bit everywhere. If you go too far, if you walk your ass up to Fordham Road from my block, from Lambert Houses, and walk your ass through Little Italy if you want to, back in the 70s.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Yo, when we was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we got inducted. Damn, I forgot the name of the group, but the actor Danny Ayala was friends with one of the members of that group, and he got on stage with them, and he talked about how it was in the 70s growing up in the Bronx, and how certain groups of people couldn't walk through Little Italy, and he wasn't lying.
Yeah, you got that right.
And certain groups of people couldn't necessarily function within, what people are calling FBA culture without acting like they was FBA. Like you wasn't just blatantly acting like you was Jamaican in hip hop culture. You wasn't just blatantly, like you said, as Puerto Ricans, y'all was acting more black. Yes,
I call it being fly as fuck, but
but you're right. But that translates into black culture.
You know what? But if you look at, if you know Whip, like knowing Whip, before I knew that he was Puerto Rican, I thought he was a light-skinned black dude.
Right.
I had no idea.
Back with the Stay Stone crew.
Right. When we was hanging out in Truman High School, when we was the Stay Stone crew, I had no idea Whip was Puerto Rican. No idea.
Yeah, but now I think I remember Rubie D definitely was like
I knew
Yeah.
Rubie. He was
Yeah,
Puerto
you
Rican.
know
Yeah,
he Puerto
I
Rican. Yeah.
did tell them.
Yeah, he had the hair and I think I remember the curls and all that
And
thing.
Right.
that,
Yep.
you know,
Yep. And
we had
it
many
was
arguments.
early fro.
We had many arguments in the group all the time because I would dress Puerto Rican is what they called it.
Yeah,
Right.
let's talk
Right.
about that.
And what was that? What was you wearing that they would call Puerto Rican and they didn't like
Well,
it?
like
that mesh
I've never
shirt?
been into sneakers too tough, and jeans. I like slacks. I like button-down shirts and shit like that. You know,
And y'all didn't care if they matched or nothing, right? You just as long as the slacks and button down.
It better match. Who play
no,
that
it doesn't
shit?
matter.
You know y'all wasn't matching this shit, yo. Jamaicans used to do that too. A lot of people from outside of America, like we used to look at y'all like, damn, they dressing crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like they have high waters and just not
That's
matching and
comfortable,
all kind of crazy
because it's
shit.
hot
Like,
as fuck Central America.
huh?
Right?
Church shoes and shit like that. It wasn't fly, you know what I mean? We had Playboys and British Walkers and all this fly shit.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Like, you know, the funny thing is the way that Run DMC and them dressed with the leathers and the fedoras and all that. That was how we dressed on the streets of the Bronx.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Like that was how we dressed. and you know, but we didn't dress like that really on stage. We dressed like that in the street.
Right. And who would have known that that was actually a great fucking stage costume?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
It
exactly.
at the time, because actually that's what the streets wanted. Like I remember, you know, because it was just a different sensibility at the time. So I remember looking at y'all, you know. I mean, there was one point where I guess leather suits were kind of fly, but just not too tight. But like, I just remember like the first time I was at Roseland, feel like I was about 14 years old, and I'm seeing Soul Sonic Force for the first time. And keep in mind, I've only been listening to tapes before this. So I got my own vision of what I think it's gonna be. And then they came out there with those costumes on and shit. And I was just like, what is this? Like,
nah.
I was like, this ain't it. Like, but at the same time, you know, it was hip hop and I'm happy to be there. And you know, there was a lot of hip hop that was going on that I didn't fully agree with, but I was like, you know, it's better than nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna just accept this shit right now. Like, I didn't understand why they didn't use the real records. Why was they playing the shit over and all that with all them Sugar Hill records? Now I understand why, but I didn't understand back then, like, why they just couldn't cut up the real record how they did on the tapes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but again, I'll take it. Fuck it. You know what I mean? It's hip hop, and I'll take it. But yeah, the whole, I mean, it's just very obvious what this is, man. Like, and people could have been from somewhere culturally. I guess we all got a little bit of somewhere from, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, we microphone rocking, crowd.
Some New York shit.
Individual.
Some New York shit. There's some black dudes in New York synthesized alongside, you know what I mean? Some Puerto Ricans early on.
Right.
Few Puerto Ricans that was rocking with us early on. And then more came as time went on. But the initial ground zero, where the planes hit the towers and all that,
right.
was black people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
well,
unless we're ashamed that we're from a culture that was started by black people.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, Puerto Ricans are black people.
Right.
Yeah, yes, we are.
So it's all black people.
Yep.
So,
Rich
but,
is-
but
Rich is
right.
like
Well
No,
said.
we gotta make sure,
We gotta stop letting people separate us. That's what it is.
through and
People separate us
GXT was
through
talking about this
geographical
earlier.
location.
The DXT wants to get into this too, how it's about the social constructs
Yes.
of how people. He was like, really, what is Puerto Ricans? Like, what is a Puerto Rican? What is a Jamaican? Like,
We
you know what I
black
mean? We melanated people
Right.
who were
That's it.
colonized by different factions
Right.
who called you this and called you that, and now you feel some sort of national pride associated with this moniker that you've been given, but really that's not a race.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not a race. You know what I mean?
We allow them to continuously divide us through geographical landmass
And so if you
and
black,
language.
but then you have, people that are talking about foundational Black Americans, where, people that were here since slavery, that this is our mojo. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, that's just what it is. Like it didn't synthesize anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the facts. And if it was, honestly, if it was some sort of 50%, like my brother Joe, who I love, but if it was 50%, you would have heard more Spanish language.
Right.
Just the language itself would have permeated into hip hop. Right. We would have been cutting up Spanish breaks and shit like that. Like, we would have been cutting up Jamaican breaks. There would have been more Jamaican language. You know what ended up permeating into hip hop? 5% language.
Facts.
Language from the gods and earths.
Yep.
I mean,
because we was there. What they call in the b-boy stance is the gods in the Truth Square. Let's keep it a thou wow. And again, that's a foundational Black American organization, if we keep it real. So yeah, we're not here to shit on nobody. We know who was there. We know who participated early, but we just talking about the creators. And we created something that is so beautiful that everybody now across the world, it's become one of the most unifying. You know what I mean? It first of all, initially on its inception, it helped to unify original melanated people and those who thought they were other than that, whatever whatever geographical place they may be from. Damn, this is poop up off of me right now. Tell him to hit me back. So yeah, and then it spread, and now, it's so universal that everybody feels like it's theirs, and I'm the one that, a few years back was saying that white people were guests in the house of hip hop. Now we agree that there was no white people at these jams at all, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely not.
No white
Went down to the grill and shit like that.
At all. Right.
In the first 10 years,
and I mean, not just being there, participating, anything like that. There was no white DJs. There was no white MCs.
No.
There was no white attendees.
No. The only thing you had, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great when Charlie Ahern was coming up and came with the cultural movie Wild Style.
Right. That was the early 80s.
Right.
We had already established. It was already a thing by that time.
I'm just talking about from what they doing in the 80s, because they wasn't coming around early 70s to the jams. No. I mean, when the Blondie come up, Ra? Was it 81 or 80 to the PAL with Fab Five Freddy?
1980, she came to the PAL. In 1981, she released Rapture. Wait,
and then
I'm sorry, no. 1980, she released Rapture. I'm sorry.
Right, and then you had Harry Chapin that did Star Wars, so he was basically running around with the graffiti artists and a lot of that, you know. But as far as they input, no.
Yeah. We're just keeping it clear, keeping it clean.
Lest they was in blackface.
Yeah, right.
Hey, yo, hip hop was competing against John Travolta's Saturday Night Fever, yo. Come on, man. That's what they was doing.
Right.
Now
they had Dan and Terrio and all of that type of shit.
That's what they was doing.
Remember Dance Fever?
We facts.
Oh yeah.
We Flash Theodore and DST and Rock and Rob. At some point, I remember they cut up the break that was on Grease. Remember, there was a break on the Grease. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, we took a play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, yo, Rob, I'm glad you say Rock and Rob, because a lot of people don't give Rock and Rob a lot of credit, man.
Yo, he's one of my favorite DJs from
Patterson.
Yeah,
Patterson Projects in the house.
One of my favorite. Yeah. Very, very humble brother. But he was nasty back then, and he doesn't get the recognition I think that he should. I mean, he didn't have a crew of MCs to help him, you know, elevate his stature as a DJ. But you know, as far as his recognition goes, but he was definitely one of the cats. Yep.
So just real quick, before we get ready to wrap it up, I just want to get a total consensus real quick so we can be clear. It was not 50-50, correct? Everybody.
You're correct.
No.
You're correct.
We love you, Joe.
No, we love you, Joe.
That percentage was wrong.
No.
Okay. And when we talk about these percentages, we're talking about participation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
we've established parentage.
Lord, email me your math, God.
Absolutely, I got you.
Bet.
Well, man, this, I think.
And you too, Whip and Rubie.
For sure.
Okay, all right, I will.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything they want to add? Rubie D, I'll start with you. Anything you want to add to the conversation before we get up here? Oh, he came later. He's very adamant about what was what and who was who and this and that, and asked this one and here's more proof of this and that. And it's like, I love you, Crazy Legs, but you're bugging. Like, relax. Like, relax. Why is this so important to you?
And again,
if we're all one,
I think that you know, with all due respect to all of our legendary brothers who who hate me.
It's okay. You're still gonna live.
It's okay. I am gonna live,
mm-hmm.
and I have no hatred towards you. And I just want to say that, with all due respect, you know, we have to come clean. We have to correct these mistruths, because, you know, we ain't gonna be here forever. And then after we're gone, you know, somebody else other than the people who were there are going to be telling our story. So we need to document it accurately first. And, you know, and you know, we are. And so saying that you were influenced by somebody who, you know, who is your peer, who you could possibly have been a rival with at one point in time, or maybe you still have somewhat of a rivalry with? It's, you know, it means nothing in the bigger scope of things. This is our culture.
Right.
Yep.
JRA New York City said,
We
shout out to
still
Dan
living it.
Silk and two legends who were in hip hop first movie, Whip a Whip and Ruby D. Thank you,
Actually.
JRA New York City.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pele Manuel as well. Thank you for your donation. Whip a Whip.
Big hot.
Anything you'd like to add on?
Yo, just
Big
hit me
metal.
if y'all want to know how to get to a brother. It's at Prince Whip a Whip. Hashtag Whip a Whip, Prince Whip a Whip. I just like to say, hey, I learned a few things today myself. I learned a lot of things, and I just like the fact that we reaching out. We can still build. We can still build. Just take this energy and keep this positive energy going, and let's continue to do what we do. I mean, shit, ain't nobody getting no younger.
That's your joint right there.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
All right.
Not getting any younger. We're here, and we're here to just share what we love with the people. And anybody got anything to say about it? Yo, hit me up.
Yeah, we just trying to keep it, actual and factual. And some people say, oh, you're being divisive and all this. Listen, I'm just dividing truth from falsehood. You see what I'm saying? And if that's being divisive, then yes, I am being divisive in that manner. When you build on the positive, you destroy the negative.
Yes.
When I build on the truth, it's a symbiotic process. When I build on the truth, I automatically am destroying a lie. I'm destroying certain myths that might exist.
It's like Raheem says, this shit is going in the museum.
Right.
Right.
It got to be told correctly.
And there's more than one museum, keep in mind.
Right.
You got some boy Dave Mays
many.
down in DC making a museum down there.
Yes.
Then you got our brother Rocky Buchanan in the Bronx. That seems like the official museum, but that's what I'm saying. There's more than one museum right now.
Yes.
And so now it's going to see who lasts the test of time and all that, and what story are they going to have in there? Is it going to be an emotional story based on how much money they were given by certain people who want something to be said a certain way? Or is it going to be based on the actual factual testimony of people like yourselves who were actually there, okay, to tell you motherfuckers? Because I had some fucking jerk off DJ fucking, I'm not going to make this motherfucker famous. I know he wish I would say his name. No, ooh, he wish I'd say his name. I'm not saying your name, bozo. But this guy was just trying to tag me and everything and acting like I was being so divisive. Then you got another guy who's a DJ on Shady.
He was tagging me. He was tagging me too.
Yeah, sucker ass. And it's all Lord Jamar's fault. He's the first one to talk about guests in hip hop and all this type of shit. Nah, I've been letting y'all motherfuckers know that this was black music. And when y'all tried to crown white people as the king, I said, how can that be when black people, we're the only ones that can crown somebody in this shit. Right. Just like we're the only ones that could actually bring somebody in.
Right.
Y'all could, to tell the truth, Ruby D and Whip a Whip, could y'all have just autonomously, without some brothers bringing y'all in and co-signing for y'all, could y'all have just got down and just walked in and just started rhyming at the party? Went through the ropes and all that type of shit?
I don't see that happening unless you one bad motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. Black motherfuckers wasn't even doing that shit. So without the cosign of, you know what I mean, original people, it wasn't even going down.
We've been through the trenches. We had to prove ourselves.
This was the oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Whip.
No. I'm just saying. We went through the trenches. We had to prove ourselves.
And when you say prove yourself, how did you have to prove yourself? What do you mean
by that? You have to represent and rock. If you can't rock a crowd, then you done. You done. And you got to be up to par.
And rock a crowd meaning a black crowd. A black crowd, the same crowd that could be at the Apollo Theater on Wednesday night
That
is up
crowd.
in that is up in
That
that
crowd.
motherfucking party. That crowd.
Look. Every time that we didn't keep the crowd entertained, something happened. Somebody got stuck
Yeah,
up, somebody got shot. You know what I mean? That's what happened when they weren't being entertained. When they were being entertained, it was lit completely.
Like this.
Right.
Yep.
Right. But then every now and the motto, the going motto from every crew was stay from behind the ropes.
Yep.
You feel me? So if you wasn't down with that crew, you couldn't go behind their ropes.
Right.
But you knew how much juice you had if when you showed up to whatever crew's party, you could go behind their ropes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Black Engine.
You knew you had the card.
Right. Thank you, Black Engine. He said, why we keep bringing up Latinos? We're talking about PR to be specific. That umbrella word is too inclusive of other groups who weren't there.
Yeah.
I agree, Black Engine. You're right.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Because I don't know no other groups. But like we said, it's possible that there was some Dominicans there that wasn't waving no Dominican flag or whatever, blending in as Black people. But, you know, from what we know, you know, the only it was Puerto Ricans. Yes, it was not Latinos. So I don't know why we keep saying, but then again, that goes back to what we were saying earlier about these labels and all of this type of shit.
Yo,
right?
those similar like babies ain't gonna let it go, man. The similar like babies ain't gonna let it go.
Let me see. Who's this? We're gonna just answer a few questions before we get out here, I guess, or address these. Wraith 7, thank you for your donation. He said a lot of Puerto Ricans and Latinos in general are starting to realize they are Black and are now embracing their Black heritage.
True.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And so, yeah.
Gotta realize them drums came from one place.
I just found
and
out
why you love those drums.
True indeed.
You know what I mean?
I just found out the woman I was married to for 15 years is Puerto Rican, half Black and Puerto Rican.
Wow.
See my drum?
She didn't know who her dad was. She just found out who her dad was recently, and her dad is Puerto Rican.
Oh wow.
Puerto Riqueño.
Great.
Puerto
Listen,
Rico.
my niece and nephew was half Puerto Rican. Shout out to them.
And you know, that term Puerto Rican, we use it out here in the States because in Puerto Rico we're Boricuas. We're not Puerto Ricans.
Got you.
Entendido.
You know,
Right.
and they frown upon Rubie D and Whipple Whip. They don't.
Because y'all not from.
Why?
Puerto
For
Rico.
you're not from there?
Right,
Is that it?
right.
So see, because that's the same way the
They were from
Jamaicans
New
look
York
at
region.
Jamaicans that are born here and not born over there. They feel like you're not real Jamaican.
Right.
So they feel like you're not real Puerto Rican. Is that it?
I was born in Puerto Rico. You know,
okay.
I lived in Puerto Rico, went to school in Puerto Rico for a couple of
I was
years.
born, raised there, you know.
You know, La Calle Loíza, Gautier Benítez.
I don't use no
well,
passport when
you.
I go on vacation. I go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he was always in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Gambrell, thank you. He said, great point, Lord Jamar. That's the difference between acting and being the producer. Yeah.
Yes, sir. You hit it. Yeah.
I mean,
You hit it. That's real.
Yeah.
but again, we're all happy to be in the movie, right?
Yes, sir.
We're all happy
Yeah,
to get
absolutely.
that Academy Award. We're all happy to get whatever royalties come from that without having to say that we own the movie.
Yep.
Listen.
If I told you you had 3% of Apple computers,
Ooh, I'll take that.
you'll take that, right?
Every day.
You'll
take 1%
all day, every day.
What?
Right?
In
So
a New
now
York
think about
movie.
hip hop, one of the biggest one of the biggest, money making musics of all time, really.
Yes.
And if we were to say, all right, here's 3%, 5%, whatever you know what I mean? Whatever percentage we say, okay. If you want to break down percentage wise, like of what it was in the beginning, I don't know what it would be, but we know that it's not 5%. But let's just say I said 3%. And we're thinking hip hop is just as big as a fucking apple. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Why would anybody be mad at that?
Right.
Because it sounds small.
Look.
It sounds small. Oh, well, we only had 3%. And the black, the Americans had, the rest. Like, but 3% of something super fucking major. Like,
look.
Put it in perspective.
Hip hop produced 3 black billionaires. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know how many black billionaires there are in the country? Hip hop produced 3 of them.
Let me ask you, when you think of Jamaican music, do you think of hip hop?
No.
When you think of Spanish music, do you think of hip hop?
No.
But when you think of black music, do you think of hip hop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but yes.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are we talking about here? Let's stop playing these games, people. Okay?
Games.
Right.
Egghead. Well, I stopped him from tagging me because you know why? Certain people feel important when they think they having a beef with you. And see, that's another thing you got to watch. You know what I mean? If they think that they're having some sort of intellectual sparring session with you, or that they can go tell their friends, yo, I'm in beef with Lord Jamar. Me and him are having beef right now on Instagram. Like, get the fuck out of here. That makes you feel like you're somebody special in the world. I'm not even going to allow you to feel special like that anymore, sir. So I sent his ass to the block party. You want to take it back to the old school? Let's take it to the block party. He's in the block party right now. He got his turntables hooked up to a light pole right as we speak. In the cyber world somewhere. Oh man, this was a great conversation, y'all.
Yeah.
So,
Yo.
Any last words you'd like to add on to what we're talking about here?
Yeah, I like to appreciate these 3 MCs who are still alive.
Thank you, sir.
And I want these universities, these Smithsonians, and all these people, please come to these guys. They are alive. That was there. 1973 to 83 is the most important years in this culture. If you didn't witness it, you have to take a seat in the audience. I don't care how big your name is in hip hop, because you got a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer here. You got the first 2 Hispanic MCs, and this conversation of them telling you what it is should be okay. Well, they telling us, and some people still don't want to believe it.
Yeah,
and it's sad that 49.
Here you go, baby.
There you go.
That's
Pull
right.
out the hardware on them.
That's right. Break out the
Pull out the hardware on them.
Listen,
We have this
B,
conversation 49 years later. That's all I have to say.
Oh, they're still gonna they're gonna be like, Lord Jamar led this conversation down a certain road.
Yo, because I read a post of yours today coming home when you went on earlier that Rubie D was an MC in 1970 and Whip and Whip was an MC in 73.
Who?
So I respond to the person. I'm like, how? When they was born in 1960.
Right.
1970, I was 10 years old.
Little Bow Wow.
So they worse than the MAGA audience. They worse than the MAGA crowd. They out there. They can't let it go.
Well, and it's because you want to move the timeline. You want to move it to where you want it to be. Like.
But it's some of us doing it. It's even some of us doing it. All right.
And Raheem knows exactly what I'm talking about. And Raheem knows exactly what I'm talking about. Him and I know. We know who's doing it. We ain't gonna call him out, but we know who's doing it.
No. And it's because it's millions and millions of dollars that are being, funneled into our culture now, as a result of these institutions of higher learning, museums and such. They're putting millions of dollars, states are putting millions of dollars into educational funding to facilitate learning about our culture. And because there's a contingency of us who are continuously involved and actively part of that circle, I think that they feel as though people like Whip, Rubie D, and myself should continue to be excluded because maybe our stories don't jive with theirs. Maybe.
Thank you, Fresh Soul Music. He said, please check out John Leguizamo's Latin American History for Morons. He goes in on what still isn't part of the history book. Salute. Thank you, Fresh Soul Music.
That's my man, yo.
Oh, but one more thing I just want to say before we go, because I know our time is running out. If you want to contact me, interviews, bookings, whatever, Raheem Music, RAHIEM music @gmail.com.
Hang on a second. That's spell it again. I'm sorry. RAH.
I'm the RAH and the IEM.
IEM.
In your ass if you tell me when.
Raheem Music, you said?
Yes, Raheem Music @gmail.com.
And since we're giving out emails, Prince Whipper 1 @yahoo.com.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
And shoot me your mathematics.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you.
Raheem Music. I got it.
Yo, Silk, I'm gonna call you after this, bro.
All right. And my YouTube channel is Not in My House with Van Silk. Not in my house.
Not in my house.
With Van Silk.
I like that.
I need some more subscribers. I gotta catch up.
No, not at Gmail, at Yahoo.
Oh, my bad. Hold on.
I do have a Gmail. I got a Whip at Gmail, but I don't use that yet.
I don't never use it.
Gmail is like the automatic.
That's the way to go.
In that shit. All right, let's fix it up.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
And let the world know.
Rubie D, you got any email or IG you want?
Yeah, man, I got Rubie D 7152 @gmail.
Rubie D?
RUBIE.
RUBIE.
Rubie D 7152, you said?
Yes, sir.
gmail.com.
Hey, girl, if you
The D, the Rubie D is DEE.
DEE? Okay.
RUBIEDE. I make you hate high fidelity. Is that how I go?
Rubie D 75 what?
7152.
7152.
7152 @gmail.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
Bam.
Gotcha.
Man, we've been on here like 3.5 hours. We still got like 1,000 people in the room.
That's bananas.
And my YouTube is Not in My House with Van Silk.
Not in my house.
Not in my. Okay.
Not in my house?
Yeah, Not in My House with Van Silk. That's my YouTube channel.
Yeah, Rubie, man, we're gonna start a new group, Spick and Span.
Brother said I'm on drugs. If I was on drugs, the first shit I saw.
Look, we were all on drugs at one point.
Right.
He
must be talking about in the 80s or some shit. Like, fuck out of here.
Thank you, G grandson. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I miss all them days, man. The day of the trade bag.
Yo,
the trade bag, the Manila envelope.
One of my favorite spots was the Duck Down.
There you go.
Rock City. Word. That was like the hooky spot.
Yep.
Niggas be up in there at like fucking 10, 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Thank you, Anthony Atkinson. He said, I'm loving the history, bro.
It was all L brothers.
A lot of memories. Keep up the good work.
All L brothers.
I remember many times.
The one who rocks it well. Taking all the fly girls to the motel. Just the way the L. That shit used to just sound so fly. Like, yo, super rapping. Hang on while I got you here, real quick. Super rapping, man.
Yeah.
Like, especially the original version. I used to fucking love that fucking song so much, man. Like,
we did that shit in one take, bro.
Are you serious?
We did that joint in one take, bro. One take.
Wow.
Word.
Now, here's something that I just, as a grown-ass man, I'm talking maybe a few months ago, just discovered what y'all was saying and what the fuck it was. Right. Well, first of all, I want you to clear up exactly how y'all said this part, right? So what's leading up to Take the Train and all of that? What's the first car y'all say? When we talking about
that was my run.
That's my Mercedes.
Yeah. If my Mercedes break down, I dog my grill, and when I drive up in my new Seville, and my Seville break down, I take it on back, and when I shock your mind in the new Cadillac, my Cadillac break down, I'm just too much. I when I dog my grill in the new Stutz. And
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Just Bearcat.
When I dog my grill in a new what?
Stutz Bearcat.
But you said Stutz. You didn't say Bearcat in the record.
Right, I said a Stutz.
That's the show.
You said a Stutz twice, right? So, boom, let's stop right there. Nigga, I ain't know what the fuck a Stutz was, bro. I mean, of course we knew it was a car, right? But that's not a car that I ever heard of, that I even had a frame of reference. I'm talking, I just was watching some shit like a couple of months ago, and your man with the long nose, the nigga that drive the car, Jay Leno. Right. Jay Leno had this shit with the cars, and he pulled up on the nigga Cedric the Entertainer, and that nigga had a Stutz, and he was like, this used to be Barry White's car.
Facts.
And when he said Stutz, I was like, Stutz. I said, that's what the fuck they talking about in super rapping. Holy shit.
Facts.
Yo, it took me that long to actually know what a Stutz is, because my favorite car back then was a 9.8.
Right.
Was
right.
You know, the 9.8 was the most gangster car to me back then. Like, tell them about the 9.8 if they don't fucking know that was the.
But there was a few joints. It was a 9.8 was fly. Deuce and a Quarter was fly. Park Avenue was fly.
And these and I'm talking, these is fly New York cars, because in Cali it was something different. In Cali it was into that other shit, like 6 floors and all of that type of shit. We talking about fly New York cars. So go ahead.
Lincoln Town car. like the Mark 4, the Mark 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like
certain
those
caddies and shit like that.
Yeah, those are the joints that OJ car service had that
That's
dudes
what they
was
were.
going home.
That niggas wanted to be in.
Yeah, facts. When you
Right.
pulled up in those joints, you was definitely noticed.
Look, I'll still
Fact.
ride a Delta. What is that? Delta 88. I don't mind.
Delta
Right.
88, right?
Right, facts.
Oh man. Man, but yeah, super rapping, man. That's fucking
It produced that starts. Yeah.
take the train, take the train. And like y'all had breakdowns and man, that shit was just I love that. I mean, I used to play that shit frontwards and backwards 1,000 times.
I don't know if you realize this. The last verse in Super Rapping that Melly Mel says is the verse that he says in the message.
First of all, he said that rhyme at least 3 times. Let's keep it real. He don't say it just on the message. He also says
on Super Rapping.
Yeah.
No, not just on Super Rapping. He says it on another record too, God.
He may have.
No, he definitely did. I'm trying to remember which record it is. But he definitely said it on at least 3 records. I was like, the God, yo, he don't give a fuck. He just like, you know what, this shit. But what's crazy is it fits so crazy. Like it sounds perfect on Super Rapping and it sounds perfect on the message.
It got on the message because we were all being auditioned to be on. And when I went in the booth to be auditioned by Sylvia Robinson, I hit Mel's verse, "A Child Is Born," because it fit the song. So when I came out of the booth, she was like, "Oh man, that was a great take, Raheem. We gonna keep that." I said, "No,
that ain't my rhyme."
No, that's not my rhyme. I said because it fit the song, and I don't know if Mel was gonna say it. So she was like, "Oh shit, okay, Mel, go in the booth and do your rhyme." And so that's how Mel got on the song. Yep.
And did at any point say, "Oh, well, I recorded this on record before"? He didn't say that.
Nah. Yeah. Actually, he did. And
right. And what did she say?
And so she was like, "That's fine," because she had bought the masters from
Enjoy.
Right. Yeah, she bought the masters from Bobby Robinson for like 10 G's. She bought our contract out for 10 G's from Bobby Robinson. And so that's how she and we were supposed to actually get writers' royalties for the message because Mel used the verse is another composition, but somehow she finagled it in a way where Mel just got royalties for the verse on the message, and the rest of us didn't.
Wow.
Yep.
And y'all was probably thinking, yo, she just paid $10,000 to get our stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that seemed like some crazy shit. Like, whoa.
I mean,
whoa.
We was invited to her mansion. You know what I mean? She invited some local Jersey girls to come get in the pool with us and all that. And she gave us the contracts, and everybody in the group signed their contract right then and there on the spot, except me and Flash. I couldn't sign the contract for myself because I was too young. So I had to bring my contract to my mom, and my mom took it to a lawyer, and the lawyer told us not to sign. So the whole time that we was making records, like the first few joints that we made, I wasn't under contract, and she was threatening to kick me out the group the whole time. But when I turned 18, and I had to sign.
And you ended up signing the contract that the lawyer
said not to
you
sign.
Shouldn't sign.
Correct.
Yeah, man, this could go on and on and on, man. This shit is
we just got we're just settling out of court with Sylvia Robinson's last surviving son, heir, Leland. We're just settling out of court with him. Maybe it's been a month now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
Well, good fortune with that, man. Hopefully that all goes well. Man, I thank everybody for joining us tonight, man. This was
I gotta get ready.
Yeah, I know it's y'all have been gracious
I'm
with
done.
the time. I appreciate y'all. Whip is he's gone. He probably just laid
there.
down and shit.
Get
He's
up
like,
in the morning.
"Man, I got shit to do, man. I gotta go back." Yo, I appreciate y'all for coming through. I hope we have dispelled some myths. I hope we have clarified and made some understood up in this bitch. Yeah. To all you suckers that was talking shit. Oh well. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Yeah. And that's how we're gonna do it. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Rubie D, Raheem,
Gentlemen.
Silk, thank you. Man, Silk was the goddamn quarterback of this whole thing. He put this whole thing together, put me in contact with brothers. I appreciate you, my brother. And Whip, you know, I'm gonna just assume he's knocked out somewhere, and we love him as well.
Facts.
So appreciate you, brothers, and
thank y'all. Thank you for having me on, bro.
Yes, sir. And I'm gonna send you
Gentlemen,
my
pleasure.
email. Yes, sir. Peace, Rubie D.
It was a pleasure. Rock, Van Silk.
Peace. I gotta get up at 5 in the morning, man.
Yeah, 4:30.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
All right.
All right, yo.
All right, brothers. Peace.
Peace.
Man, thank you, bro. Yeah. Peace. All right. Lakeisha Niels, FBA is a political term. We are Aboriginal Americans. You're goddamn right we are. All right. Did we get to the bottom of that? Did we get it out the horse's mouth? Was it established that black people are the creators of hip hop? And it was by no means 50%. Did we establish that? I think we did. So all of this shit that motherfuckers is talking, let them talk what they want to talk, but you have heard the real here today. Oh, peace, Dr. Maat. I see you. Yeah, you've heard it from people that were there. So now you can't, Lord Jamar's talking shit. He was only 4 years old when Cool Herc had his party. Shut the fuck up. These dudes was there. Okay? And the only Puerto Ricans that was down at the time was here right now to tell you that they was the only ones. So let's stop it with the bullshit. Stop acting like I made some shit up. Okay? So now y'all click that like button before we get out of here. Black people know that you great. Original people, melanated people, I should say, know that you great. We've created many things time and time again. And yes, we are not going to allow people to diminish our accomplishments. Thank you, that girl. She said, black men, stand up. Class is in session. You're damn right it is. Reggie Noble said hip hop came from the streets. Black folks' parents and plenty of blacks hated it as well, just like some Ricans did. Facts or false? Yeah, some of the parents might have hated it, and some black people that weren't of the streets, but hip hop came from the streets that black people lived on. And just because some of us hated didn't fuck with hip hop, so what? What are you trying to prove with this question, sir? Reggie Nobles? Because at the end of the day, it was the black children who made hip hop popular. It was the Aboriginal melanated children of the day who were playing their parents' records and gravitated to the breaks that existed in their parents' records collection. And the record collection that we're talking about might have came from the same parents who didn't like hip hop. But what the fuck does that have to do with anything, sir? With all due respect, I thank you for your donation. But your fucking question is a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that part. So I hope we've achieved some sort of satisfaction here. Wraith, you said if the one drop of black blood rule was applied to Latinos, Puerto Ricans and Latinos in general would have embraced their black heritage 100 years ago. We wouldn't be as divided as black people. This is correct. This is correct. You know, why fight to be separate from us? We said black people started it. But now, but I guess that's not good enough because people are saying that, you know, melanated Americans started it. You see? And I guess that's the problem that certain people have, but that's the goddamn truth. Where some people did some people's moms, you know, or pops come from somewhere and you know, that doesn't mean that just because your parents are from somewhere, that doesn't mean that that culture started something, even if you were the one to start. You know what I mean? It happened here in America because of the particular influences that existed here. That's why it couldn't happen nowhere else. So please, let's stop the nonsense. Yes, some of us have many different diverse backgrounds and all of that. But we got to give credit where credit is due to the foundational melanated Americans who started this shit. Let's fucking give y'all a round of applause, the ones that were actually there to start this shit. Let's give y'all a round of applause. Well, we done cracked that case. On to the next. I don't want to hear no more about this shit. Yeah. Egghead, you know how I know you on my dick? Because you still watching this right now. Oh, man. That's funny. But yeah, so listen, I appreciate everybody that came through. If you hadn't, make sure you click that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. Hang on. Yeah, I'm just reading some of these joints. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. Click the notification bell, click all, and we will have more joints coming for you. This is one of the longest I've done in a very long time. I appreciate y'all sticking around for it. I think it was productive. You can't please everybody out here, but oh well, you know. I just got to keep it a thou wow, and we're gonna make sure this history is right, like these brothers said. You know, they got museums out here, and we're not just gonna allow people to go with certain narratives, just because they feel a certain way. You know, we deal with facts over feelings, and yeah, that's my motto. So, thank y'all. And I'm seeing somebody, oh, Grandmaster Flash was Caribbean from Barbados. Listen, he wasn't living like somebody who was Caribbean. He wasn't living like somebody that was from Barbados. He was living like somebody from the Bronx, like somebody from Harlem or something like that. You understand? So knock it off. Hip hop could have never been created in Barbados. We love y'all, but it is what it is. So we out. And once again, for the Godcast, I am Lord Jamar. Peace to my Godcast family. Peace to my hip hop family. And we out. Why none of the forefathers put this history in stone? I just put it in motherfucking stone right now. Peace.